Welcome to this special Wednesday night edition of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
I'm Conrad.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Belle.
We're here tonight to do the finale of our King of the Riff concept album battle series. It's all come down to this. It is Queensrÿche's Operation Mindcrime versus the Crimson Idol from W.A.S.P. Before we get into that, we're going to be discussing our songs of the week as always. We've also got choosing our vocalists for our glam builder band. What else we got? We're going to discuss more around the battle series just had as well, and a whole lot more as well as usual stuff. So make sure you get in the comments to say hi if you're here. And make sure you hit the like, follow, subscribe button as well. All of our details are in the description box for this episode, so please do get around us and give us a like wherever you prefer. There are reference tracks we're going to be talking about tonight, so make sure you go and check those. Those are in the description box as well. Whether you're tuning in now or later on, you'll have them there. I will put them in the comments as we go through live later on too. A big thank you as always to our fantastic sponsors in Squid Ink Screenprinting, Alt-Cvlt Rockstar Finance. Their details are in the box as well, so give them a like as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, that's the usual preamble. We have a lot to get through tonight, and it's going to be a big one. I've been forewarned that there are some essays in this finale as we go through things. And Conrad's already shaking his head, going, "Oh my goodness!"
I thought we agreed that wasn't happening.
Yeah,
You agreed.
I tried.
Yeah, I did too. I edited mine down, but just
We'll see. We'll see how we go. Let's quickly get some comments because Nicole's here saying hello all. So good to see her here. Thank you for joining us. The same with Rowan as always. The same with Michael. Good to see you too. Andrew as well. We got Sally here with us and Guy as well. Good to see you. We keep starting early now. It's like 24 hours. Here we go. We keep getting there. And Jolie's here as well saying, hey, everyone. Hopefully you can stick around for a while. It's a Wednesday night, so it's a bit different for you. But, yeah, hopefully you can hang around for a bit. But, yeah, get in the comments. Say hi. All the usual stuff we always do. But let's do the rounds quickly. So, Dave, how's your week going?
Yeah, I'm good. Having the week off work. It's the second week of the school holiday, so I figure it's a good time to just take a week off. It's too cold to do anything. I'm too broke to go anywhere, so not much happening, but I'm enjoying just spending time with my kids. We did go to Luna Drive-In, and we saw the movie Elemental, which was actually really, really good. It's a lot of portrayals of different classes. So you got like the fire people and the water people and all the other elements, and then the boy from the water people falls in love with the girl from the fire people, but of course their families won't let them be together. Well, the fire people won't let them be together. The water people are cool. But it was really cool metaphoric stuff. But sadly, Luna Drive-In is closing down. They've had to sell because of the fucking land taxes going up to like $900,000 a fucking year. I don't know what the government does to deserve that, but that is the life that we live. So, yeah, on Sunday is their last session. They were booked out a few months in advance, so we couldn't go to that. But yeah, we've taken the kids there since Jade was a baby. So every school holidays we've gone. So it's really sad to see them go because it was a decent, like $40 for a carload. You pay that for one ticket to go to the cinema. So it's a bit shitty. But apart from that, came across a thing on the bootleg circuit, 3 CDs worth of Wednesday 13 demos. So I'm quite happy with that. Yeah. There's some pretty cool stuff on there, songs that I'm familiar with and songs that not so much. And it's interesting to see his writing process. Some could be just like a minute of an idea and it's become the song on the album. So it's cool to do the comparison. I love stuff like that. I've got a 20 CD set of Chinese democracy demos. So it's cool stuff out there.
Only you would do that.
I fucking love that shit. I love seeing the process of how songs come together. And I watched what's that? Jeff?
No.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah. And watched some wrestling, watched a 4-hour pay-per-view from AEW and New Japan. And the New Japan people against the Americans, which is cool because they're a different style altogether.
Yeah, exactly.
And saw the match with Jericho and Sting, and fucking Sting's jumping off a ladder to the outside of the ring. Like, shit, dude, you're like 64 years old. You shouldn't be doing this shit, man. Fucking crazy. Yeah, and after he does that, he gets back in the ring, like, because it's a tag team, and ends up doing like 5 minutes at the end with Jericho. Just that match would have been awesome 20 years ago because they're both not young anymore, but they still did a fucking great job. So stoked to see that. Apart from that, there's not much happening. I'm enjoying time off. I'll shut up and move on to Conrad.
Conrad's had a week.
I've had a pretty busy week.
Fuck, man, you have an awesome life.
Guns N' Roses on Friday night, which was Hyde Park, which was stunning, brilliant.
Nice.
was supported by the Darkness and the Pretenders.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
And they were, yeah, actually, the Darkness were quite good, actually, as were the Pretenders as well. So I couldn't fault them. They were great. And then Saturday was Motley Crue with Def Leppard, which was at Wembley Stadium. That was pretty epic. That was amazing. That was
Nice.
good. Motley delivered.
Cool.
Felt them.
Good to hear.
I'm happy to hear that, man.
Def Leppard,
Yeah, that's genuinely good to hear.
outclassed by Def Leppard a long way. I think Def Leppard really outclassed them. Yeah, they were great. Both really good. And then
Nice.
I got Kiss tonight and Iron Maiden on Saturday.
Christ.
Oh, shit.
Bit of a busy week.
Yeah.
Just looking at the Hyde Park set list for Guns N' Roses, dude, that was a fucking epic show.
That was killer. It was awesome.
Pretty
Is that the
tied
one
up.
where Axel kind of fell over and then recovered? I saw footage of that.
That could be. I saw that footage.
I
That was
heard
during Bad
In
Obsession.
saying that, I was
right.
falling all over a place. quite possible. I might have missed that when I was falling over. You know. That was great. That was killer.
Second song.
And I caught up with some old friends. It was nice to meet some old
Nice.
friends. Yeah, that was really cool. I went with a whole gang of us. All went together. I got some footage of it. I think I sent it to Dave actually. Sent him some.
Oh, cool.
Some footage of that
Nice.
stuff. So,
Did you?
yeah.
I might have been
I
falling
did.
over at the time.
I did send you some footage of that. So
Sweet.
yeah, you could see it. Yeah, it was really good. It was a great show. Been a busy week.
Yeah.
And exhausting.
Yeah.
No,
Like it's
poor
worth
you.
it, but it's tiring.
Yeah, indeed.
Where Bell's sitting in Tasmania going, fuck off.
Yeah, I am. Fuck off, Conrad.
I'm with you, man. I am with you, Bill.
There's a reason I don't live in Tassie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dude,
Uh,
fucking crazy.
well.
Well, over to you, Jeff.
Thank you. Yeah, so my week is I'm like Dave. I took a week off. I don't have kids, but I just took a week off anyway because
Nice.
I've got a lot to do. And this week, I had a lot to do and I haven't been doing it. But tomorrow, this is why. So thank you everyone who showed up and arranged for the Wednesday show because the guys were so nice to offer to change it because tomorrow night I'm going to be seeing Neil deGrasse Tyson, somebody I've looked up to for a long time.
Yep.
And so I'm going to finally get a chance to see him. And that's kind of cool, actually. And but other than that, I really haven't been doing much. Just trying to catch up on my writing and my reading and things like that. Speaking of writing, you guys are in for it tonight. Sorry, guys. I apologize up front.
Jeff, I checked the word count of every note I have for tonight, and your entire review for later is more than my entire thing for the night.
Yeah, there you go.
I would like
You
to
win.
know the word count.
I
for
win.
your
I
Dream
definitely
Theater
win.
review.
I
Haven't we already
edited
done,
it down.
haven't we already done these records? Like,
Well, yeah, yes,
we've already written reviews of
absolutely.
them.
But tonight being the final, I had to go all out because after this, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
Another bracket.
forewarned is forearmed. But look, I'm gonna make it epic, so you're gonna like it. So
All right.
anyway, on to you, Belle.
Cool. All right. Well, mine won't be epic. It'll be short and sweet. So we counterbalance.
That's
Balance.
great.
No, we're not balanced. We're counterbalanced. Oh, whatever. Anyway, sorry. I'm in my third drink.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna
I
be
haven't
fun.
been to any gigs, or I'm not going to any, but that's okay. I haven't done anything. I was thinking just then, what have I done this week that's, worthy of telling everyone? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That's because
I've
you
been
live
working
in
and they're not
Tassie.
working. Great. So, but that's okay because I'm here now, and tonight is going to be a good night.
Yes.
I'm sure it will because everyone on the screen and everyone not on the screen are awesome, and I love hanging out with everyone. So, and
I'm going to remind you that at the end of the night after I've trashed Mindcrime.
I know you're going to trash Minecraft. I don't give a shit.
Are you really?
Trash away. It's not like it's anything new.
Yeah, that's true.
Go for it.
Dave,
We haven't done the songs of the week yet. I've got a feeling you're going to hate me tonight.
No,
I
we'll see
already
how we
know
go.
that. I
I'm
already
very
know.
curious how
That's
Dave's going to
okay
go.
because I don't hold back. I put it out there going, yeah, well,
good.
I'll probably
Yeah, be honest. That's what you want.
Andrew. But everyone else will hate it and whatever. Bring it on. Like I said, I don't hold back.
Good.
That's cool.
I'm giving my opinion. Well, I sort of do. Maybe I shouldn't. Anyway, my plan for tonight, besides doing
more drinks, Belle.
Finishing off this. Wow, like this.
Is there anything left?
It was half full before. I think there's one
not anymore.
And then I want to try to finish this. So, but
I'm mixing.
It's a really bad idea, but I've had a really shitty couple of days. I'm not going to go on about that because I always complain about work, and I'm not going to, but I need it. So I'm going to drink up, and we're not going to rock on. Can't listen to music right now, but
we can all waffle on. That's what we can do.
We can talk about
drink up and waffle on.
Yeah, perfect. Anyway, that's me, Andrew. How are you?
Awesome.
Everything's good. It's just that we're now in the final stages. We've got like 3.5 weeks to go before we hit the road, and so it's just go time. Jodie's saying hello to everyone. She's knackered.
Hey, Jodie.
She's finished work, and so she's now sort of doing a lot of the stuff around the house while I sort of keep working for the last month that we're here. And then, it's just counting down, packing up, cleaning up, all that kind of stuff, and just sorting what's going to go where, to who, to how, all that kind of stuff. Just the logistics of it all now. It's all just, we've been ticking along, but now it's like, okay, the crunch time of those last 4 weeks is now well and truly upon us. But no, everything's good. It's just hectic, but that's expected. We knew it was coming. It's just now that it's here. But the end of the hectic phase will be well worth it. So we're looking forward to it all happening. It's just a matter of just getting through this next 2 weeks. But it's been a long time coming and planning and building all kind of stuff, and now sort of the end phase is here. So it's just go time, but it's the good time as well. So no, looking forward to it. Everything's good. Just keeping busy and trying to squeeze out as much of this in and around that as I can, and all the usual stuff. But no, everything's good. Nothing to complain about, just flat out. But that's nothing new either, honestly, for those that know me. So there you go. Alrighty, so we got Dave on some red wine tonight. I'm assuming Conrad's on water. assuming.
Well, it's daytime here. It's daytime here. It's
you can't day drink like you
Sorry?
can.
It's daytime here.
What is that?
I'm on cordial.
You've never heard of beer clock? Come on.
12 o'clock somewhere.
Cordial. This is the first time someone's drunk cordial on the Hard Rock Show.
All right.
Possible.
I'll get on that. One day I'll surprise you and I'll get on the sauce.
Nice.
Please.
So good. So,
Next
Jeff,
week,
you had a shot before. Are you still on Pepsi or?
Yeah, usual. I got water chaser tonight, so I'm doing good.
Oh, yeah. Mixer.
Nice.
It's
Watered down Pepsi. Watered down Pepsi. I like it.
It's good. It helps keep you lubricated.
If I get on the sauce now, by the time Kiss comes around, I'll be a mess.
No, that's true. That's very fair. Very fair.
And Paul will sound awesome.
I'm actually I want to hear how they go live. Actually, Conrad, from you next week. I'm very curious as to how they'll go. So
they were great last year.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not what he was, but he wasn't terrible.
No, and it's not about that. Everyone takes those things out of context. We were talking about it before we went live, but it's just a matter of sort of seeing how things actually go, which is good. Bill's on the wine.
I wish they were coming to Melbourne. Fucking Sydney. Bomb Sydney. Bomb Sydney, then they'll have to come to Melbourne.
God, Dave, that's going to get us cancelled or banned or whatever else. That's like extreme.
I'm sorry. People in Sydney are nice. Kiss should be here instead of that.
Belle's already demonstrated she's getting through the wine and following up with JD later on, and I'm finishing off my glass of port, and I'm going to go back to that bottle of bourbon I had last week, which will be
mixing
cool.
as well. Awesome.
Yes. So here we go. Alrighty. Comments. We have Chris is going full house tonight. Hey, awesome people. It's good to see you, buddy. I'm glad you're able to tune in. Nice. And Joel is going, yes, he excited to get the full show tonight. Very happy. Awesome. Good to have you. Mara, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for jumping in, saying hello.
Hey,
here we go. Michael is asking, did Gunners play Coma?
Yes, they did. And that was brilliant.
Nice. There
Very
we
good.
go.
Fantastic.
And It's Andrew asking the same question as I did. It's Andrew's asking, how was John 5 for Motley Crue, Conrads?
Yes, he was good. He was good. He fitted in rather well. I mean, it was weird. It was odd looking up there on stage and not seeing Mick Mars up there. It was very odd to see that. But I won't take that away from John 5. That's not his fault.
No.
He's filling in, and I don't know what the situation's. Well, I think he pretty much mixed out the picture now, isn't he? I don't think he's coming back.
No.
But no, John 5's a great player. He's a phenomenal player. I think he's perhaps a bit probably underused in Motley Crue. He's not going to be utilized to his full potential. Maybe on the next record, we'll see. You know, if they let him go ballistic. He's a great player.
Mick will be back in the next reunion tour in 2035.
Yeah,
maybe. But if that's
imagine what condition they'll be in there.
That's just have a corpse in the back.
I'm not sure anyone wants to see that. To be fair, like that'd be. Kind of
I don't think he's going to be around. He said the other day that he was. He pictured he's going to be dead pretty much in the next 7 years. Is what he said.
Wow. Yeah,
he's not looking to.
I was cringing a bit at the whole titty cam, like Tommy doing his get your tits out thing with the
AC/DC did that back in Melbourne 10 years ago.
10 years
doing the jack. Yeah, doing the jack. And then he had.
Did they encourage?
I was there. I don't remember that.
Yeah, they encouraged it. Yeah, they had the camera out. Just got the jack, and and then some guy got arrested afterwards for streaking. So female nudity was okay, but the guy got busted for streaking.
Wow.
Okay.
Was that 2009?
No one wants to see that.
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, I was
back
there.
in Eddiehead.
Yeah.
That was cool driving home because the fucking city was filled with bogans with light up horns.
Well, you know what I remember most about that concert was because we parked underneath it, right? And we were in the underground parking lot, and it took like an hour to get out of there. And the fumes, I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
We had the windows rolled up, but it was still coming in the car.
It's fucking horrible. I had the same thing last year after Guns N' Roses. I parked 6 floors down. I thought, oh, great, easy car park, all done. Get back after. I got through Use Your Illusion 2, all the way up to the end of Estranged. By the time I got out, it was up this fucking 6 rows of this little circle. So it's car exhaust. Had the windows open because I didn't want to die.
You can't. You're gonna die. You open your windows. You're dead.
Yeah.
Take your pick. Yeah. Wow.
It's that bad.
Like you got that post-concert adrenaline going where you just want to fucking drive and got the music cranked, but no, you got to sit in the fucking waiting.
All right.
The titty cam thing was it made me cringe a bit.
Yeah.
It didn't sit right with me, especially I was there with a mate of mine who has 3 teenage kids, and I just thought, no, this is
kind
not
of embarrassing a little
friendly.
bit.
Yeah.
Have you heard Motley Crue lyrics though?
Seriously. I was about to say that said it is Motley Crue, so
it's Motley Crue. You're surprised.
I saw Motley. I've seen Motley Crue several times over the years, and they didn't do that on the Feel Good tour. They didn't do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I suppose so, but
it came later. I don't know why.
It was definitely on the Carnival of Sins tour, but it's just
I don't know. It was that that's where it sort of happened. I don't know why, but it's not necessary. Anyway.
It's not necessary, but it's what they do. So it's not like it's a huge shock at the same time. I get it, but it's not like it's a huge shock. Thinking
I just don't think it's particularly very good taste.
Fair enough.
Depends.
Maybe I'm a prude.
Anyway, Chris has said on holidays just west of Launceston at the moment. Thought about moving to Tas many times, can handle the cold, not sure about the lack of bands. So there we go. There's someone in your neck of the wood there, Belle.
There you go.
Are you there now, Chris?
Yeah, he's on holidays in Launceston.
Oh wow, west of Launceston. By the way, in Tassie, because I always called it Launceston. They call it Launceston. Apparently, it's pronounced Launceston.
I'm slowly getting educated on that.
So, that's a while to get used to. West of Launceston. That would be
pronunciation.
Oh well.
I don't hear the difference between the two.
Chris, let us know how that's going for you if you're getting why we're saying that down there. Vinny's going, hey, legends, good to see you, buddy. Representing G-Town here. After my nuts in mud until the landscaping begins this weekend. So there we go. All the way from
Dude, that's a fucked up Wednesday night.
Yeah, that is. Bash is here as well. G'day all. Looking forward to tonight's program. Last Thursday was awesome with Klingons, Riff Raff, Pink and Black equals Red.
Exactly.
Elvira. I was missing Dave's detailed review, please. Long review from Dave. Go Wasp. So there we go.
Guaranteed it'll be a long one tonight. And fucking Elvira, yeah.
Yes.
Getting asked again. Hey, I was defending Elvira's age last year. Jeff was being ageist about her.
Oh
I was
second
a
age.
little bit. Yeah, I
He
was.
was.
Yeah.
But,
Dude.
you know, hey, if the shoe fits.
Let's not go there again because we'll know what the shoe fitting is going to be referencing too.
All right.
Anyway,
I'm not going there. All right.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. Nicole says, "Hey Jody." Michael says, "Geez, they start drinking early in Tassie. I only just opened a bottle of wine here."
I started at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
Holy
5
shit.
o'clock somewhere, Belle. That's how you do it.
That's it.
That's true.
Rowan says, "I was supposed to be traveling today, but cancelled it when I saw Tear Shorts was moved to Wednesday."
Oh,
That's dedication.
Awesome. Thank
Wow.
That is dedication.
Wow.
Great. That's
Oh,
thank you.
Impressed.
That's-
Very impressed.
Very nice.
Vinny here says, "Cracking and dry with some lime on a Wednesday night here. I'm a real house husband of Geelong." Hey, that is actually a nice drink. I'm not going to hear bad
No,
words about
that
Geelong.
is good.
Um,
Although I
Sounds like a
prefer
TV show, The House Husbands of Geelong.
House husbands.
let's not give any
Cracken's
more bad
okay. I
ideas
just-
to television
no,
networks.
seriously, imagine if
Captain
Vinny
Black.
was on a TV show. That'd be great.
Captain Morgan Spice Black is better.
Hey, Belle, I know a guy. But anyway. What we got here? Adrian says, "What's up, mate? It's good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well out there." Guy says, "Mick Mars has been barely standing upright for the last 20 years." That's pretty much true. Last time I saw him, he was struggling a bit.
Does anyone notice that his picture is? I happen to know who that is. It's Ted Kaczynski. Does anyone know who that is? I'm not going to say it online. It's
heard
the
the name.
Una something. That's what that picture
okay.
is. I don't want to
Right.
say that because it could,
Yeah.
not good for
Oh,
not
yeah.
good for the stream. But
No.
Ted Kaczynski's okay.
Okay. Nice to know. All right, cool.
Well,
idea.
the things that you notice, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't really see it the same way. I've got very small. I've got a read all the different
okay.
things going
Yeah.
on, so I don't see the same detail. Vinny says Motley Crue lineup changes over the years is kind of like playing Guess Who. Adrian chimed in saying Motley Crue playing to backing tracks. Apparently not, according to Conrad. He saw them and everything was good. So it's just the other night. So everything we hear is good. What do we got here? Adrian also says, "I saw Metallica and Guns N' Roses on tour. That would have been fucking amazing."
Nice.
Also saw Crew with Karabi. That would have been fucking cool.
Oh
Wow.
wow! Yeah.
That would have been a
That would've
different
been awesome.
vibe. That would have
John
been really
Karabi
nice.
is awesome.
I love that record. I think it's a great record.
Yeah, I saw.
I
Karabi-
didn't get it. I don't get it at all.
I love that record. I think it's awesome.
I
It's
saw
one of the
Karabi
best things
live.
Motley Crue's ever done.
Wow.
It's a good album.
Fuck.
Yeah, look,
great
it's certainly
record.
better than the
It
one
forced
that
the shit
follows.
out of
'cause
me.
what's the one that came after that? Generation Swine. That was
Yeah.
fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was
Shockingly
good.
bad.
When you get Vince back and it goes to shit, I think it was great. Record.
I would have actually liked to have heard them do one more with Karabi because he was good and they felt like they were just hitting their straps. I also saw Karabi live a few years ago with a project called Lost Angels. I forget who else is in it, but he was still fucking going great guns
Well,
like
the
that.
idea was to keep him as a second songwriter singer, keep him and have Vince come back as well, and keep him as well. But for whatever reason, it didn't work out. It's a shame because I think he might have added a lot more to the band.
Yeah,
I think
especially
they
having the guitarists.
Yeah, I think I think that Motley Crue release has come to the pressure from their label at the time.
To get Vince back.
To get Vince back, yeah,
Mm.
because it just didn't sell as well as maybe people for whatever reason didn't like it. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.
No, I thought it was fucking terrible.
It's terrible.
I know everyone loves that album. It's fucking dreary. It's the same tempo for like 14 fucking songs, 70 minutes of the same wannabe grunge bullshit. Motley Crue are a party band. I don't want serious Crew. I do not want serious Crew.
I get that. I get that.
I get it. It might have been better to have released under a different name, but it's still a good album.
Yeah.
Like,
Meh, no. The more I hear it, the more I fucking hate it.
okay.
We reviewed it twice, I think.
Yeah, I know. And Dave doesn't like it.
It's worse every time because I know what I'm in for.
Anyway, Edge Crush is here saying, "Hey, all good to see you. Hope you came well out there." Chris going west of Launceston and Westbury until Sunday, then Hobart itself for the next week. So there we go. He's down there for a while.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's my
Guess
voice.
who else is in Hobart?
Cool.
Mhm.
Have a good trip down there, man.
Yeah, have fun.
I got a
Hobart's
friend.
great.
I got a friend request from one of our viewers, I believe.
Oh, nice.
It's Sally,
Cool.
I believe. I got
Oh,
a
Sally.
friend
Yeah,
request.
yeah, yeah.
Sally.
I did the same. And,
Sally's
and
cool. She's not a troll or
accepted,
anything.
Boom. As soon as
All
I
right,
saw that,
well-
and Nicole as well. It was awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
well,
guys.
I'll accept
Appreciate
that. I'll accept that because I was a bit uncomfortable. I was a bit like, "Ooh, who's this? I don't know this
Oh,
person."
no.
No.
They're
If
good
you're
people.
Sally's
telling
cool.
me,
No drama
if
with
you're
those
telling me,
two.
Very
if
good
you're
people.
telling me, giving me the thumbs up, then okay, Sally, I will.
Yeah.
I'll add you.
Yeah.
Cool,
You are.
cool.
Yeah.
Penny's followed up. If I was on a TV show, Belle, I'd be like a white Kevin Hart. So-
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, not a lot of filter there. Darren says, Conrad, are you catching any Maiden concerts in the UK? Yes, you are,
Yeah,
Yes, I am.
motherfucker.
I'm going on Saturday. I'll be there on Saturday. So,
which
yeah.
is cool.
I'm singing the O2 Arena
Fucking hell.
Saturday.
We're all sitting here.
Conrad,
in
is there
Sydney
any
College.
band you haven't seen?
You didn't see me. You didn't see my
Yeah,
band.
he didn't see that Klingon band last
Yeah.
week.
I haven't seen Kronos yet.
he hasn't left the planet, that's why.
Yeah.
We need the Balkans to give us a space drive or whatever it is that worked out. Anyway, so Andrew says Conrad may have some competition. I just got tickets to see Nebula Viscaris, and then
Nice.
the following night I'm seeing Extreme and Living
Ooh.
Color at
Uh,
the Forum. That is going to go
Nice.
off. I haven't seen Extreme, but Living Color are fucking phenomenal. And everyone I know that has seen Extreme
Yeah.
has said nothing
That's-
but fantastic things
yeah.
about them too.
Thankfully, that
Exactly.
tour's
That's
coming
what-
here
that's
as
why
well.
they
That
got
tour's
Oh,
coming here
nice.
as well, so I'll be catching it here too.
Yeah. Sure you
of
are.
course you will.
Nice. What do we got here? The crew lost popularity. I saw them at the Fillmore in San Fran, a small club. Wow.
The
That'd be
Fillmore.
with the
Holy
Gravity
shit.
show. Wow. There we
The
go.
Fillmore West, I guess
Yeah.
that would be. Yeah.
What do we got here? Nicole's here with the horns up, actually, which is
Hey,
cool.
Nicole.
Sally's going, it's all good. Terry's here saying, hi, guys. Sorry I'm late. Hey, no matter what time you get here, it's always
You're
good.
late
to have
never.
you.
We're still saying hi. You're not late.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're still getting through
Yeah.
it. Chris is saying, Extreme, best live show I've ever seen back when they came with Mr. Big. Wow, that's
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Nice.
Cool.
nice.
That would
And
have
Yeah,
been
that's
Adrian
a good
says,
lineup.
I want to see Maiden again, which we all want to see Maiden.
Yeah.
again. Conrad's going to do it. in a
Oh,
couple of days.
definitely.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
looking
let's
forward-
move on. Sorry?
I'm looking forward to this show. It's the
I bet you are.
Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it looks
Mhm.
awesome. Even though I don't quite agree with the set list. I think it's a couple songs they left out, but I still would love to see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks.
We're not getting into that discussion, Jeff.
No, we're not. I'm sorry.
Rowan's gone. I've got Extreme Color tickets, but the Nebula Viscaris sound 72. That new album is fucking phenomenal. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
fucking
listened
great.
to it yet. I gotta listen to it.
Listen
Get
to
on it, man.
I'm gonna.
Nicole is going Maiden, which is just always Maiden. Maiden's always good. All right, let's move on to our songs of the week. First up is Dave's choice. I'm gonna keep us moving along here. So in the comments, in the description box, in case you can't see it there is a link to Hearts Collide from the Mighty Eclipse. So Dave is up first. It's from the upcoming album Megalomanium due September 1st this year, 2023. So Dave, what is about this song that makes it your choice for the week?
It's Eclipse, man. Why wouldn't I pick this fucking band?
No other reason either.
Okay, hands up who's seen Eclipse live? Al and Jeff, you got to get on this band. They're probably the
Pretty
best
good.
live band I've seen.
I'm quite
in a
aware
very
of
long
them. They
time.
are good. Yeah.
They are fucking fantastic. Saw them earlier this year with Conrad at Glam
Yeah.
Fest, followed by Wednesday 13. I was one happy motherfucker for 2 hours.
Eric's a
But
really lovely
front
guy.
and center-
for the record.
Yeah, you did an interview with him, didn't you?
Yeah, he's lovely.
Yeah. But fuck, stage presence, performance, everything about this band is just perfect. They never disappoint, and this single is just another example of how good they are. It's everything you would expect from Eclipse. It's got their own distinct sound. As soon as it comes on, bang, you know who they are.
Yeah.
Great catchy melody. The chorus is instantly memorable, upbeat, fun, vibes. This is what rock and roll is all about. The solo is fantastic and a nice build-up back afterwards. They know how to create some drama with the chords as it builds back up to the original tempo. All done in just over 3 minutes. It's fucking great.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Jeff, how'd you go with it?
I loved it. So I
Nice.
wrote some notes. So I put first of all, I found it anthemic.
Yeah.
Had a very catchy chorus, but I did you? Maybe I'm not alone in this. There was a slight country vibe in that. Could you hear it? And the way
they have that slight undertone of that.
Yeah, that here and there. Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it, but I found that I had to listen to it a few times, and just because I want, I wanted to soak it in. And I thought I wrote down good song, but it's almost all chorus. Like there's very little setup.
Yeah.
It's just like it just goes on.
There's a solo, there's a build.
So there's little substance, but it's a feel good song, and I like it. So yeah, I did like it. I'm aware of them. I've listened to them before. They're quite good. So yeah,
quite good. Quite good.
Quite good.
Just quite good.
That's harsh.
Just quite good. Fucking fantastic. That's the adjective you need. Fucking fantastic.
Fucking fantastic. I sit correctly. Thank you. Fucking
good.
Fantastic.
Jeez.
Dave's coming in hot tonight. Conrad, how'd you go with it?
I enjoyed this. This was pleasant. It was easy listening. It was pleasant. It was feel good rock and roll.
Easy listening.
It was easy listening. It didn't rock my socks off, Dave. I'm sorry, it didn't rock my world completely, but it was pleasant. It was nice. It was uplifting rock and roll. It didn't, but it didn't rock my world to the point where I'm like, oh my god, wow. It was decent. It was solid. But I remember seeing them live with you, and they were very good. So I'm quite shocked at the how big these guys are in Europe. Like you see the clip and those crowds.
Yeah, they're fucking huge over there.
Big. Yeah.
So they're massive over here where I am. So it'd be great to catch them again.
Yep.
So yeah, indeed. So to win.
Cool.
I give it maybe 6 out of 10.
Oh.
What?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sorry.
Still positive.
Wow. This is going to be good. All right, Bill, obviously you want to retort, so go for it.
My God. Well, I love this band. Love them. And so I've been listening to this song all week, and it's awesome. It's just Eclipse at their absolute best, in my opinion. I know I gave Jeff grief a couple of weeks ago for Frontiers bands.
Oh, yeah.
And, they're all a bit samey. So I think Eclipse are Frontiers, aren't they?
They are, yes.
So, yeah, for me to really get into a Frontiers band, they have to have something extra, and Eclipse have something extra. I don't know what it is, but they've got it.
There we go.
So I'm so jealous of Dave and Conrad, who clearly didn't appreciate the greatness that was before
I don't know where Conrad was, but I was front and center, man. I
enjoyed them. They were great. I didn't say they were great. I didn't say I didn't enjoy them. They were great.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Conrad.
Yeah, that's
great. Maybe I'm just a snob. Maybe I'm just a music snob like you.
That's okay.
In a different way.
Easy. Just that need 5-minute, 20-minute songs. Fucking.
Well, then I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Dave because he actually really appreciated it. So
it was so good.
I will see them one day. I'm sure they'll come back. They
will.
They might even come to Tasmania. You never know.
They've been here. There's a good chance they'll come back. They've been here twice now, so I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, that's a band I think they'll come for. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, back to the song. So mostly an upbeat rocker, a little bit melancholy in parts. So some of the chord choices and the lyrics even it's fine. No, I don't want to say that yet.
Then whatever you do, don't.
No, that's...
What?
Did I even print the right bloody notes? Okay. So anyway, loved it. Eclipse, yay. That's it.
All right. Obviously, there's more to come in that world. For me,
wow, that's intriguing.
I don't know. That's a teaser. We'll put it down as a teaser for later in the show.
It won't be rewarding when I get to it. So sorry, Andrew.
It'll be funny either way.
It's just in bed with Conrad. What
this
the fuck, dude?
We've had
Man,
with Conrad,
do not do it, Dave Ellison. Do not do it, Dave Ellison. Fuck.
You said that last week.
That'll get us cancelled. Yeah,
you said that last week, Dave. And I think it's just
THRS scratch and sniff.
It just
oh my god.
No one wants that, Dave. Nobody wants that. I think he's just getting comfortable for you and Jeff's epic reviews coming up later on.
Popcorn, dude.
But get a pillow out, Conrad. You're going to need it later on.
Maybe an old sock.
Pretty good nap.
A drool cup.
All right, if you know Eclipse, when it comes back to the song here, if you know Eclipse, you know exactly what you're getting. This is a fan-pleasing track. It's melodic hard rock, done right as far as I'm concerned. That's what these guys are all about. And what these guys do is they always incorporate different elements, different things to make it so it's not just your standard fare when it comes to melodic hard rock. It's there's always something a bit different. There's a bit of darkness in there and other elements in that going into their songs, which I always enjoy. This song has all those things too, but this one is mainly built around big energy, big hook in the chorus. This song delivers those aspects. But I like how the verse for me was a little bit understated. I thought it builds nicely, and once it gets to the chorus, it just goes fucking off. It's a perfect song for radio. It still rocks, but it's catchy as all fuck, which is cool. It's some nice mood changes in it, nice layering as well. And I love the extra punch as the song sort of builds up toward the end, too. It was a nice little bit there. With this song, they're not particularly reinventing anything, but what they do, they're one of the best in the world of doing this style of music as far as I'm concerned. So I'm pumped for the new album. I think that it'll be up there. They're always so incredibly consistent with what they do, so I'm looking forward to it. And this song is just another great addition to their catalogue of work as far as I am concerned. We're going to stay on this vein for a little bit longer because Jeff's choice is next. But before that, we've got some comments here. So Michael says, hey, all, been a while since I joined one of these live streams. Good to see you, buddy. We are well. Hopefully you are too. Good to see your posts still coming through with your photos. So hopefully that's all going well for you.
Yeah, cool.
Well, Adrian says they sound cool. Just go back to that last week. Cronus was a great listen as well. So there we go. Got a fan for Cronus for you there. Nice. Conrad. Nicole says, yep, cafe music for me. Easy to listen to, but not my bag, which is it's not the first time Nicole said that. Chris says, definitely a country vibe in those verse, vocals, and harmony. Sounds like US 80s AOI with way louder Marshall stacks and some actual power. And that's kind of the appeal of it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who picked up on that, but that's cool. Yep.
Chris says, scratch and sniff. This is why Dave needs to drink every live stream. Combined with Paula Yates, Conrad. So there we go.
Maybe not, dude.
I know. But Vinny's gone also. I'm a sucker for gang vocals. Good pick for this week. So there we go. Getting some love for that one. All right. Next track is Jeff's choice. I'm going to keep us moving here with a little. I have not heard of this one before. Apparently, Jeff, a good friend of yours.
He is a good friend of mine. Yeah. So this is great.
Yeah. Matt Hughes with Rock Me Gently. You alluded to this one to us in a little chat a little while back, but now it's here and we're going to talk about it. There's a link in the description box. It's a link in the comments as well. It's the third single from an upcoming album called Revolution, but there's apparently no release date as yet for that.
No, he hasn't. I don't know why. He's just sort of drip feeding everybody with songs, but
it's an odd one.
Yeah.
All right, but cool. Anyway, Jeff, we know it's your friend, but I'm assuming the song is what got your attention because I know you've been banging on about this one.
Well, he's a buddy of mine, but the song, I've been sort of following along, listening to what he's been releasing, right? You know, as I said, drip feeding with songs. And when I heard this song, I was just blown away. I thought that, first of all, he sings, he plays bass, he plays guitar, he plays drums, he does it all. It's just him. And the production level is just out of this world for this. I think he's just hit this one, knocked it out of the park. It's got one of those catchy choruses that gets in your head and you're remembering it and you're singing it later in the day and you go, oh shit. And I can't say enough good things about it. I know Matt. I've known him for a long, long time. I first met Matt many, many years ago. We're talking 80s, where he was a drummer in another band called Prisoner. And so long story short, his the singer for that band was my best friend's uncle.
Nice.
So we would just get, anytime we wanted to show up wherever they were playing, local band, we were able to, they just say, yep, come on in, and I think there was a time there when we were even underage and we still got in. So it was cool.
Nice.
And Matt, I think, was underage as well. He was, I think Matt was like 16 or 17 years old and they didn't know. No one knew.
That's cool.
The promoter, so he was that young. But as a drummer, the guy was just fucking unbelievable. And then years later, you know, he's switched over to guitar now and stuff like that, and he sings and he's done. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to his upcoming album, Revolutions, for sure. And so, yeah, as you can tell, I can't say enough good things about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got a chance to hear it.
All right.
So yeah, pretty much it.
Cool.
Rock on, Matt. He's probably going to watch too. I told him about the stream.
Okay.
So he may be watching. You never know.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's go to Conrad. How'd this one go for you?
I remember this from last week. I remember listening to this last week, and I quite enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was good. It was fresh. It was bright sounding. It had a really bright mix, and I quite enjoyed that. I liked the tones of it were nice.
Yeah.
So, this worked for me. It was just straightforward hard rock. It was good. It was catchy. Yeah. No, it was a win. So yeah, I'll give this 7 out of 10.
Nice.
Cool.
We're getting there.
Clips.
All right. There, I know. That's good.
Thank you. Good, yeah.
All right. Let's go to Belle next.
Oh wow, I'm really looking forward to what Conrad rates my song. But anyway, we'll get to that. All right. So Jeff, I'm so glad you shared this song with us.
Thank you.
And put it forward for your song of the week as well, because it deserves to be heard by as many people as possible, because it's amazing. So I'll just read through my notes. The first couple of bars of just the acoustic guitar had me thinking, yep, I like this already. And the rest of the band comes in and takes me to that happy place of discovering a song I know I'm always going to listen to and love.
Nice.
It's just a perfect song, in my opinion.
Wow.
It really is. So the composition, tempo, the vocal melody and lyrics, perfect. Chord choices, progression in each section of the song is perfect. The guitar solo, like, hello.
Can he play or what? Yeah.
Wow. He's so good.
Yeah.
The vocal performance alone is enough to make you sit up and say, this guy has real talent. I can't believe he plays everything on here. And I'm assuming he's produced it. And did he he have it in part? Yeah.
Like
Awesome.
It's amazing.
So it's like it's got a real rock ballad anthem feel about it, I thought. And so I've subscribed to his channel, and I was checking out some of his other stuff too.
Nice.
This is so good. So the song Make Love Not War is awesome. Sorry. I'm really going to get my shit together. So anyway, great. I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Wow. That's awesome. Wow.
Here we go.
Love it. I'm looking forward. So you said that he's releasing an album. Looking forward to that.
Nice. Well, there we go, Jeff.
Everyone should check
that's
out his other
fantastic.
stuff.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. I just think it was a good song. I didn't think it was gonna
I love it.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a great song.
Nice. All righty. Dave, over to you.
Yeah, this is fucking great. So when Jeff shared this in the chat, I read Matt Hughes, Rock Me Gently. My mind went straight to Tenacious D, Fuck Her Gently. I'm like, dude, grow the fuck up. So I put the song on, and all stupidity just left me, because it's right from the opening note. This is a fantastic song. Killer guitar tone. Production's great. As Belle said, the solo is fantastic. There's a nice shift in energy between the verses and the chorus. It's a nice, feel-good, laid-back track. And it would fit really well on the Cobra Kai soundtrack. And that's everything in my world these days. So bring it on. More of this. But yeah, I'll definitely have to hear more from Matt Hughes, because this guy definitely has some serious talent. But yeah, I certainly like this.
Awesome.
Cool. Nice. My notes for this one, it was funny to have this one following Eclipse, but also do this one at the same time as our Glam Builder Band series. Like, it just fits nicely into these two bits of worlds. If you're a fan of things like Scorpions, Rat, Dokken, and that big hook and energy effect, this song is going to just get you straight away. Like big energy in the chorus, the mellow verse is cool, but but I love how it's really rocked up in the chorus, like that. But on the counterpoint, the verse is almost just basically vocals and an almost acoustic guitar kind of effect going on. They really did a great job with the contrast there. If you want a catchy tune that's infectious in all the right ways, then look no further than this one. There's a little hint of synth here and there in this one as well. It's really subtle, but it's a nice little touch in there. And on top of this, there's the obligatory mentioned epic solo, which is just fucking phenomenal. It's a song that for me, it's not breaking new ground. This is Earth has been tilled quite a bit over the years, but the thing is, it's a fucking cracking tune. Like, you can still do this stuff, even though it's been done before. You can do this, you can still do it well, and you can still knock it out of the park. And that's what's happened here for me. Like Jeff mentioned, Matt did everything on this one. It's a one-man band kind of thing. And this has all the good things, including just the right little hint of cheese about it, but none of the bad things when it comes to this kind of genre of music. If this is what you want musically, this is going to be hard to go past. And honestly, at this point in time, it probably would be my pick if it wasn't for, me choosing my one. Like, this is a great track, man. This is really well done.
Awesome.
So, yeah. And I'm not
That's
saying
great.
that, like, I don't know the guy at all.
No,
but, like, it's just a phenomenal tune.
Yeah.
It's hard to get.
He's going to be like,
yeah. It's hard to do this genre these days and do it in, like what Conrad mentioned, fresh. Like, to make it feel and sound fresh. It's so hard to get that right, and that's just been smoked it. So that alone is points for me. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it quite a bit. We'll get to Conrad next, but before we do, we'll go comments. So Nicole says, "Ooh, gives me rainbow vibes." Okay, nice. Then we get Adrian says that intro sounds like Def Leppard's Cool song. That's a very good point there too. Yeah. More love here. Michael's going to get the Triumph influence from Matt, which is cool.
That's cool because he's from Canada as well. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. It fits. Vinny, love this, Jeff. Getting Ace Frehley solo vibes. We're getting a lot of different comparisons here, which is cool. I like that. Yeah. Chris says, sounds like could have been on any late 80s hair metal album, Slaughter, Firehouse, Kicks, White Line, etc. Solid track. I was thinking when I was listening to it, like, Dream Warriors from Dokken, it would have felt would have fit that for mine. But Adrian says, great story or great song there. Rowan says, getting Slaughter vibes, which is cool. Michael says, like this track a lot. Rowan says, lots of different vibes when I look back up the chat. This is cool. And then Adrian's laughing and everything going on. So, yeah, that was a really good pick there, man. It looks like it's won everyone over.
Awesome.
No one said anything bad about it. So
share it around, guys, because he needs all the ears listening he can get. So
do that, please, people. It's well worth it. I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed with this song. Chris has gone big modern day cowboy from Tesla.
That's what I got originally. I got cool. Tesla vibe.
Yeah, that's a good comp as well, which is nice. Alrighty, now it's Conrad's moment. In the comments, in the description box, there is a track from a little band called Wolf Tooth, which I believe this one comes from their debut self-titled album from 2018. But this is a track called Season of the Witch. It's in the description. It's in the comments. So Wolf Tooth, Season of the Witch. What made you drag this one out for us, Conrad? Because I'm going to spoil it, but yeah, it's fucking cool.
I just love these guys. I discovered that I don't know where or how I came across these, but I like this kind of stuff. I like a bit of stoner rock, and I don't know how I came across them, but I came across them a couple of years back, and I was like, "Oh, I do like this." And I think the Kronos thing last week probably triggered it and made me go think of these guys.
Cool.
So I decided, I know this song's about 5 years old now. It's 2018 was the debut album. They've got 3 records, and they're all 3 records, and they're all really solid. Yeah. They're a really, really solid band. So, but I chose this out of the 3 as a good introductory point for people.
Yeah,
I thought this was a good one to introduce people to them, and then work forward, obviously. No, it's nothing new, but it's executed well.
Yes,
for fans of Sabbath, and Clutch and Caius and that sort of thing. I think you're gonna dig this. It's just straightforward 70s old school metal, but it's riff driven, and it's again, it might not be reinventing the wheel, but it's done well. Yeah. So I couldn't go past it. I was like, this just has you banging your head, fist in the air, and being like, "Yeah, this is metal. It's good."
Yeah. Go on.
that's it. You know, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It is rocks.
No.
It's straightforward. It's not anything, you know, groundbreakingly new and innovative or anything like that. But it nevertheless doesn't necessarily have to be all the time for it to be, you know, for it to be good, you know, and fun. I mean, AC/DC is straightforward and it rocks, you know.
Yeah.
And this is again another example of that. If you like Sabbath and that sort of stuff, you probably enjoy this.
Cool. I like digging out the older ones. I haven't heard this band before, so I was like, okay, it was a good little one. But anyway, before we go on, Belle, how'd you go with this one?
I didn't realize Conrad had put a song up.
Oh.
Feel the
I'm
blood.
so sorry.
Feel the blood.
I didn't see it.
Feel the
When
blood.
did you do that?
Well, just turn the camera off.
In her defense,
I've just scrolled now and I can see it, but
in her defense, I think it went up within the last 24 hours.
It was the last
it was a
edition,
late
I
one.
think.
Yeah.
everyone else seemed to figure it out. I'm sorry. I'm really
It's okay,
sorry.
Belle.
Genuinely, I feel awful.
You cannot wait for when my review of your song comes
Oh.
out.
You're not winning yourself any favor.
All right. Well, we'll get back. We'll circle back. Let's go to Dave next.
Yeah, this is very cool. It's very Black Sabbath. If you're into Black Sabbath, you'll definitely like this. Lots of laid-back riffs. There's one riff that reminds me a lot of Children of the Grave. But that part's cool. Once that kicks in, the mood shifts, the energy goes up, and the solos throughout that are fucking awesome. Just great melodic lines, very old-school Tony Iommi playing. Singer sounds really good, fits the style of rock perfectly. Never heard this band before, but yeah, it's certainly want to check out some more. When I saw the title, Season of the Witch, I think, wow, did they cover that old Donovan song? But as soon as it comes on, no, very much not. But yeah, like you said, if you're a Sabbath fan, definitely check this out.
Yeah.
Cool. And you, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually wrote a little line down because there's so Wolf Tooth, and then there's Belle's track, which is Three Teeth, and I wanted to know what the obsession with teeth was tonight. But hey,
well done.
But this is a very Black Sabbath song, as everyone has said. It's very Black Sabbath, stoner rock, dark doomy vibe, and I actually wrote "Children of the Grave" much, you know, because it's that it's so exactly, it's like it's even in the same key.
Yeah, it's the phrasing, it's the same note. Yeah,
yeah. So I loved it. I thought it was. I'm a huge Sabbath fan. So you know, what's not to love?
It's like a modern day version.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I got the vibe of the video as well. That was like this weird woman walking around and like, who is she? You know, what's going on? Yeah. So it was it was very accessible. Like I said, if you're a Sabbath fan, you're gonna love this. So you know, get on it. Wolf Tooth, great.
Sabbath is the easiest comparison to make for this band, and that's, you know, I think that's self-explanatory. Yes, the whole Children of the Grave, that riff is definitely in there, but I'll get to that in a second, because like, if you like bands like Sabbath, this is definitely going to be for you. But that, what Conrad just said is, while they pay homage to the old guard of what Sabbath are, they're also of that next generation. So if you think of bands like Double Wide, Dead Sea Ruins, and so many others that are much more modern and contemporary, that do this style of music so well today, that's what this is. This isn't a carbon copy clone. This is just a band that's, you know, taken that influence and taken it up and just amped it up, I guess, and modernized it a bit. It works so well. It's a slow burning kind of a song. It builds really nice, that sort of payoff. And that's why the Children of the Grave riff part is actually kind of cool, because that's the payoff moment. When that kicks in like that, that's what the whole song is built toward, and that is what makes it work so well. And that's why, even though it's the same note, same phrase, and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't feel cliche, tacky, or anything like that, because it's the designed point of the song. Like, it's actually, okay, cool, this is what we're all about. And if you're a fan, you're going to get a kick out of it straight away. I love the tones and the mix on this one in particular. Like, I have to check out much more from this band because it sounded fucking phenomenal. But I like how there's some nice use of harmony in this one as well. And, you know, it's like I said, Black Sabbath is your obvious comparison, but it's another one of those things, like Conrad said, we've said it a few times now, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, you just need to do a good job. And that's what these guys have done here. They've taken something that's been done, but they freshened it up and did a really good job of it. And this is even a few years old now. So knowing now that Conrad's told us they've got 3 albums, I was like, okay, cool. There's a bit to go and check out, which is a nice little find. And I like that we're getting something a bit older here that, none of us have checked out before, which is a really good little way that's what the whole purpose is. It doesn't have to be brand new stuff, just be something that's, got your attention or you want to talk about this week. And that's why it's such a different way to go about it. But yeah, this song, it pays off. It's good. It's well worth your time. I think it's an incredibly cool track. So yeah, great pick, Conrad. I enjoyed this one quite a lot.
Thank you.
So
I just missed them. They played here on the Desert Fest in Camden. They played.
Wow.
They played a tiny little pub called the Devonshire Arms. They played this tiny little rock bar, and I would have been like, I would have loved to.
That would have been amazing.
This bar, this rock bar, this would have just been going off.
That would have been phenomenal.
Camden.
That would have been so cool.
So I'm gutted I missed them, but hopefully they'll be back soon.
Well, hopefully, yeah, because they're from US, I think. From
They're from the US.
I was surprised by that too.
Probably Maryland, because that's where this stuff comes from.
Yeah,
a lot of it comes out of Maryland for some reason. I don't know why, but Clutch came out of Maryland. And a lot of these bands.
It's a very European sounding band.
They have this doom sort of stoner vibe comes out of Maryland for some reason. Don't know why. They just do.
Sorry, I'm just giving shit to Rowan in the fucking Discord.
So I'll have a look and see where these guys are from. It wouldn't surprise me if they came in
there. Yeah. No, that would be great live. I reckon seeing them in a little vibe, in a little thing like that would be that'd be the perfect place to see this band too. It would just feel so good in a room like that. A little, I don't know what the cap is for that pub, but it's like 50 to 250 to be a great little room to see that sort of.
Yeah, no, it's a small pub, so it's probably about the size of the band, maybe a little bit smaller than the band. I think so. It's
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Smaller than that. So, yeah.
Sweet.
But I would have liked to have seen them, but hopefully they'll be back.
Well, yeah, fingers crossed. But yeah, it's funny that they're from America, because they do have that British vibe down pat, don't they? Like it feels like a British band when you listen to it, even though they're from America. They've done a really good job with, making what's old new again, which is really cool. Let's see what comments we got for that one. Adrian says Wolf Tooth rocks, which is nice. Nicole says, "Ooh, these guys are cool." And we got Adrian says, "Love the blue stuff with an edge," which is a very good way to put this one as well. Here we go. Jolie says, "Love the southern rock in that track, Conrad." So there we go. Michael says, "Have heard this previously. Great track. I get influences of southern rock with this as well as hard rock," which is nice there from Michael. Darren's got a point here. Says, "Sounds familiar to the now defunct Geelong band High as Hell." Very good point. Very good comparison too. That band did some great things. Unfortunately, short-lived, but they were so good. Chris says, "The thing I find weird with modern stoner rock is the high-quality, crisp production. It feels like she's been recorded on an old 4-track with 70s drums." I get it, but I like it this way more, to be honest with me. I do like the same better. Vinny says, "Yeah, you do, Bell, but don't stress out." Vinny says, "Very mature sound, Conrad. Definitely a Friday end of working week kind of vibe." So there we go. We're getting a midweek weekend as we go through this one. All right, let's change pace. Let's really fucking turn this whole thing on its head by going to Bell's track. This is a band called Three Teeth with a song called Scorpion. This is from the upcoming album End X, due September 22nd, 2023. Now, when Belle put this forward, I wasn't surprised, because I get a lot of her tastes in music. Her and I cross over a bit on things. But let's go in reverse. Let's go to Jeff first on this.
Oh, wow. I liked it. I liked it a lot. My first reaction, and I don't know if it was just me, but I got a real Rammstein vibe.
There's an industrial vibe to this, yeah.
That's right. And so then it opens up, and then you get to hear there's some really nice background female vocals happening, with sort of very ethereal. I don't know. It was kind of cool. And I don't know what the look of, is that how he normally dresses, like the Iron Sheik? What's the look that he's going for? So I thought of wrestling when I saw this guy. I don't know. But I liked it. I thought it's kind of suited the whole thing that they were going for. It's industrial, has a very dark and moody sound, but I liked it a lot. Like, I would give it, if like Conrad's rating stuff, I would give this a 7.5, 8. out of 10 for sure.
Holy
Liked it a
shit.
lot. Yeah, I really liked it. But I have a quite eclectic tastes, and this sort of was right in my pocket for sure.
Nice.
Cool.
I did enjoy it. So I thought weird name though, 3 teeth, but
Yeah.
hey. And obviously the Scorpion is referring to the Scorpion missile. Is that
I'm not sure.
I don't
because
know.
there is a missile called the Scorpion missile.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, I didn't pick it up at the time, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
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 Because it's a very military sort of thing going on. Yeah.
Mm.
Something's happening anyway. And I think that's maybe what they're referring to. But who knows?
Yeah. Could
Yeah.
be.
Liked it a lot. Good job.
Cool.
Good pick.
All right. Now, Belle, I was going to make you go last to sort of rebut things. Do you still want to hold on and go last? Or do you want to go sooner?
I'll go wherever you want me to go.
All right, let's go with the plan then, because I think it'll be fun this way. Conrad, over to you.
This is woeful. This is fucking woeful. This is awful. This is just. I'm sorry, Belle. I'm sorry, Belle. I don't want to be cruel. I don't want to be cruel to somebody else's
I didn't
taste.
listen to your song, mate, so don't apologize.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I
This
just
is
get an awful vibe, but I liked it a lot. What's
No,
crazy?
I'm sorry. This is not executed well. This is bad. If you like, look, it says 9 Inch Nails crossed with Cradle of Filth. And for those goths out there watching right now, you might think, oh, that sounds great.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, it's executed badly. It's you can't hear the vocals aren't loud enough, and his tonality is dull. The idea's there, but it's not executed well. I just think, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. And the whole chic in the desert, black chic in the desert. I was sorry, I couldn't treat this seriously. I was just pissing myself laughing. I'm being brutal, and it's not fair on somebody else's taste. But it didn't work for me. I'm sorry. I couldn't treat it seriously. I just thought it was ridiculous.
How boring would it be if we were all nice to
That's
each
it,
other?
and that's exactly the point, Bill.
All
That's
right.
why I wanted to make this one go a bit differently.
As long as it's not personal to somebody.
I'm not going to take
I
it
don't-
personally. I didn't write
it didn't work for me. I just found it laughable. I'm sorry.
That's the fun part, though. That's why music is so subjective. This is the cool thing about it.
All
I
right.
knew to get a reaction,
Yeah.
and not positive ones all around.
Don't get me wrong.
Shit.
I like a bit of goth rock. I like Sisters of Mercy and the Mission and the Cult and like I love my goth rock and the industrial stuff too. Like maybe 9 Inch Nails and Rammstein and that sort of thing. But this just isn't. It's trying, but it just the teeth on the gears aren't meeting up. I'm sorry, it's just not meshing. It's not working.
They needed 4 teeth instead of 3, Conrad. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, oh, they need a shit ton more teeth. They need a lot more teeth. They need a whole couple of wheels of teeth.
Oh,
to
I've got a can
mash
over my head right
It's
now.
not working. It's not working.
All right.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. Let's see how this goes with Dave.
I'll give it a 3 out of. I'll give it a 3
Okay.
out of 10.
All right.
One for each tooth. Wow.
3
One
out
for
of
each tooth.
Fuck.
It's a 3 out of 10 for effort.
Oh,
Wow. Okay, so I'm somewhere in between both Jeff and Conrad, which once I said that is a fucking horrible place to be. 'Cause Jesus Christ. Fuck.
You wish.
oh,
No,
wow.
I don't. I really don't. Wow.
Hey, Dave,
Oh.
is Julia watching the stream tonight again?
She better fucking save me if she is. Jesus Christ. Oh, man.
What,
Oh,
what I
Okay,
would say, if that was an Australian band, I would not have done that.
all right.
Okay.
Done that with Australian
I
band.
get like the 9 Inch Nails references and Rammstein, maybe even Marilyn Manson. I don't get the Cradle of Filth reference because I like Cradle of Filth. They're good.
I
Cradle
did
of
the
Filth, really
vocals.
good.
He was going into those sections. He was going into
Yeah,
those sections.
Danny
He was
Filson,
going-
much better singer than the Shriek. But okay, so Free Teeth.
the
I'm
shriek.
guessing this is for either. So Free Teeth is either for Collingwood supporters or meth addicts.
Fuck you.
You thought I was brutal.
Fuck you.
too many teeth.
Could not resist that one. Jesus Christ.
Fuck. From the guy who doesn't watch fucking football, too, of all things.
I know enough about the fucking Hollywood people. Jesus Christ. Okay, look, I'm not sure about this one. It's next wave industrial, so it's got a lot of unnecessary electronic noises, which are distracting. So fuck that shit off. The atmospheric and moody stuff during the verses, that's pretty cool. But settle down. Come on. Look, the female vocalizations, they were a nice touch. I've heard worse industrial metal, but this type of overproduced stuff is really hard for me to listen to in general. If they did an acoustic version, there really wouldn't be much song there. It relies a lot upon production for its sound. But you know, there is some industrial I like. I like some Marilyn Manson. Fear Factory's fucking awesome. But on repeat listens, I did start liking the chorus. The chorus was cool. So there's part of a song here and part not. It's like, you know, there's part of a full set of teeth in the Collingwood supporter and there's not. So, but yeah, it was all right. It wasn't terrible. I have heard worse.
Wow. I'll go into bat for this one. If you ever wonder about how diverse some of our tastes in music can be, this is going to be one of your, cases in point right now. This one is really dark and atmospheric. Yeah. I loved the industrial edge to this. That said, there's a bit more going on to this than you think. It's very driven by rhythm, but there's also things like Eastern touches, which, goes into the desert vibe of the whole thing, going into this one. And that Eastern touch and the video kind of all befits the name with Scorpion as well. It all really fit the vibe. I love the rumble, and the attack when this kicks in is really nice on this track as well. It's not overly complicated musically, but the mixing of the harsher vocals back, which I get what Conrad's saying, but for me, there are some bands when they do it, when they mix the vocals back and make it sort of echo through, softening it off and letting the reverb do the job. It can really build the atmosphere. And for me, that worked. I thought that was a great trick on this one. This is where different tastes are going to come to the fore because I really like that trick on it. I like how textured this whole thing is to listen to. The build and the payoff on this is really well done. Like I said, it seems simple on the surface, but when you dig into it, it's just really interesting. It's rewarding on repeat listen for me. The panning on things like the word oblivion toward the end of the song really got my attention as well. Was a lot of left and right going on there. I don't know. I like something different. I like industrial music, and this is not the heaviest thing out there, but there's a certain weight, and the atmosphere that they created on this song was really cool. I got a kick out of it. I got to check out more of this because this is something that I will easily get into, and I'm grateful for Belle for finding this one. Is this a band that when I was doing the mail, is this a band that I put through in the mail donkeys ago? Is that how you found this band, or is this a band you knew on your own?
I found it on, I don't know. Maybe you did.
I'm not sure anymore. I just saw the name and I was like, that name rings a bell. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I've put a couple of this band's song up on the Discord chat before. So maybe that's where you.
That might be why. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they've released 2 singles prior to this one, and they've done collaborations with Mick Gordon, who's an Australian composer that mostly does sort of video game stuff.
Yep.
So I think they are going to be on the forthcoming album in September.
Nice.
I think, which would be cool.
What made you pick it? Because I liked it. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, I picked it because I loved it. I want to shout out to Darren because he's the one that put this up in the Discord chat. I would have if I had seen it, but it sort of passed me by. So I don't think he's here tonight. But anyway, thank you, Darren, my friend. It was great. It is sexy motherfucker of a song. I love it. It's slow and sultry. Whatever genre, I'm always drawn to that kind of song.
Yeah.
So it's industrial. I don't like all industrial music, just certain bands, and this band is fast becoming one of those bands that I like.
Nice. Where are they from?
It's got like a dark, ominous vibe, which drew me in straight away. The film clip is cool. The Chic, I think it's just in character for the video. He doesn't normally.
I just looked up Jeff. They're from
like
LA.
That,
They're from LA. So
wow, LA.
Yeah, it suits it. So, but so when I was listening to it through the week on Spotify, what I envisioned in my head was, so the movie Hellraiser. Right?
Oh yeah.
The first one, like there's these chains and meat hooks with these bits of flesh sort of on them, and bits of flesh all over the floor, and the Cenobite's there, and like Pinhead's like forming this jigsaw puzzle with someone's face. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Anyway, it reminded me of that. Like it was just had that kind of.
Conrad's horrified and I'm fucking impressed.
Yeah.
It was
Great.
that is what kept popping in my mind.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Anyway, that's too many horror movies. I think my mind.
There is no such thing as too many horror movies.
Well, yeah, that's true. But
Dave, people who know you
normal
might beg to
here.
differ.
Well, normal, I'm saying.
Avoid them like the plague.
Maybe too many. Well,
I love a good horror movie. But
Love horror. So good.
Yeah,
Well,
that's just what kept popping in my head. That whole kind of
Nice.
scene and vibe.
Oh, the atmosphere, kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just dark and like.
There's a certain sort of score element to it, which is cool.
I think so. Yeah, I think that this song would be the perfect sort of on a movie soundtrack with some kind of gory scene playing out. For sure.
Wouldn't even need to, because, for example, there's just a psychological thriller. It would work for that too.
Yeah.
Don't be gory, it would be good on a psychological one too.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah,
It worked pretty good for 7, actually.
it would,
there's
because that was the one that had 9 Inch Nails on, I think. What were you saying, Conrad?
Yeah.
You've triggered me thinking of a song now. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I've mentioned it to Dave a few weeks ago. Check out a series called Yellow Jackets.
oh
I've
yeah,
heard
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
good?
a series called Yellow Jackets, but the theme song to that is so disturbing. It's really
Okay.
disturbing, but it's brilliant.
Is it?
Okay.
I love it.
Awesome.
Brilliant. I
Yellow
love it. I don't know who
Yellow
it's by.
Jackets. I've
I
heard
don't
of
know.
it.
It's
Yeah.
on Paramount. I know
I
that.
don't know who it's by. I don't know who the theme.
It's on
song's by.
Torrent
I'm gonna-
Cinema.
I'm going to find out. I'll put that up.
Of
Next
course
week.
it is, Dave.
I'll put that up next week.
Nah, cool.
That'll be my song
Let's
next
do it.
week.
Go check it
Yeah,
out.
nice. Sweet. Looking forward to checking that out.
That'll be my song next week. 'Cause it's really disturbingly
Cool.
gives you chills,
I'll
but I
check
like
that
it at
out.
the same time.
And your other song.
I think there was a Bowie song in 7 as well when he went industrial.
There was a
Check that.
whole lot in that score. There were a lot of different things.
That
in
had a
it.
good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, but
Okay.
Belle, was there anything else you wanted to add into this? song here?
Well, just that I'm looking forward to the album, but
Yep.
I've covered that. And look, I was earlier reading about this band on Wikipedia, and I was just reading through, and this they were talking about. I've got on my phone here. They were talking about the music style of the band, and it just made me kind of laugh. And I'll explain why. I'll just read it out. So, 3 types of music features sequenced beats, down-tuned guitars, samples, and synthetic melodies. So, it was kind of like a tick the box of all the things Dave hates.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
You like Ministry? Are you into Ministry, Belle? The band Ministry?
I don't love Ministry actually, and
Okay.
this band was influenced heavily by Ministry. I think the lead
Yeah.
singer, at least.
You
is
can hear a bit of it in there.
You
can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Rammstein, and I love Nailbomb. Remember Nailbomb? I think it
Yep.
was some of the guys from Sepultura did a project
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
90s. That was
Nailbomb.
awesome. I love that.
I
Yep.
saw Nailbomb doing
Wow.
their
Oh,
only 2
stop it,
shows.
Conrad.
One of their only 2 shows ever. They only played
Wow.
2 shows, and I
Of
saw
course.
That's
one,
impressive.
and it was
Fucking
at
hell.
95. It was at Dynamo
Wow.
95 in Holland, and they only ever played 2 shows.
Yeah,
I
it
saw
was
one.
about that
Wow.
time because I think Point Blank came out in '94. Or no, maybe it was '93. Anyway, it was thereabouts.
That
You
era.
bastard.
Yeah, I
Ugh,
think it was 95. I saw it was Dynamo 95. They only did 2 shows ever.
wow,
That was-
There you go.
cool. Okay, yeah. So
Come on. Beer Factory, easily the best industrial metal band.
Fear Factory, cool. I do like
Yeah,
that.
Beer
right.
Factory.
Um,
Easily.
Yeah.
The manufacturer.
So the only other thing that I wanted to add was this band. So this song and the Eclipse song, I was tossing up all week because I was listening to both like several times a day going, I don't know which one. I don't know which one to choose. And then I think yesterday I thought, fuck it, I'm just not going to have either. I can't choose. I'm just not going to have a song this week. And then Dave put in the chat the Eclipse song. Yes, thank you, Dave. Now I can kind of have both. So
there you go.
That was
And how fucking shocked would you have been if I picked this song?
that was never
Dave,
happen.
I'd have died if you'd have done that.
I wouldn't have known this song before this, so there's no way that was going to happen.
There's no way the algorithm's going to feed you this song, Dave. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that's why I use YouTube, not Spotify for this.
So yeah, there was a light in the dark, a light in the dark. So you know, the Eclipse was my light. This is my dark.
That's awesome. That was cool. All right. Let's get some comments. Rowan digs it. That's cool. I dig it from Rowan. Nicole says, this just confuses me. Bits are great, bits are bad. Bleh. I don't know.
I get that.
Yeah, fair enough. But flip side, Adrian goes, wow, badass track. So there we go. Vinny says, Jesus, Bell, this is seance in a song. I hope I don't become possessed listening to it, but I'm equally intrigued. So there yeah, Michael's got a good point here. This track needs to be listened to with cans and speakers, judge properly for mine. It's off a laptop. Not ideal to judge it as a track, though. A good track, is good, though, on first listen with me. So there we go. So good track. I listen to it. You get a lot more detail through headphones. And that
immerse yourself for sure.
It's a lock away track. Like, you got to actually focus on it to get the full reward out of it. I agree with that. Chris says, cool song. What stands out to me is that it's in those modern drop Q tunings, but the guitars don't have that same dual rectifier guitar tone they all have. Yeah, that's very true. It had a certain organic quality to it, which is better than other ones. Adrian says, I thought it was creative. Vinny says, looks like Yasser Arafat's stepchild.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Thing
This is good. Adrian's gone, tell us how you really feel. So there we go. But Vinny says, Andrew, speaking of new releases this past week, our country's first sperm and egg bank was opened in Victoria by Conrad Dan. Apparently there's a pre-drinks and an after party. We're all welcome to come. Huh?
Wow.
That's a party. There's a party on the hill and I'd like to come. Anyway, Rowan says, with apologies to our Collingwood viewers, there's a Collingwood producer on this thing. We're all fucked. Chris says, night all. Big taxi day tomorrow. Hope to catch you next Thursday from Hobart Diggs. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're enjoying your time and have a good holiday while you're out and about. Good to see you. Hopefully you catch up with the rest later on. Cool. Vinny's saying night, Chris, but also with all these awesome acts, I wouldn't be surprised if Conrad witnessed the second coming of Jesus at this stage. So there we go.
Me either.
And Bash has gone, nice horror story, Bella. So there we go. We're getting some love for it. Okay.
Nice horror story.
My turn. I'm going to change the pace again. I'm going to go to Aussie band Palace of the King. Link in the comments and in the description for this one. This is Palace of the King with their latest Children of the Evolution. I'll revert back to normal for this one. This is the latest single from the Aussie band, and Dave and I in particular have been covering these guys for quite some time now, and they haven't released anything bad at all. This particular song is short, punchy, very riff-driven. It's got a bit of darkness about this one as well, which is cool. But I loved on this track in particular, the rhythm was what got my attention. The way the guitars and the drums play off of each other, the different syncopations going on there was a really nice touch in this song. As always with these guys, there's great vocals, but I love the harmonies and also the very subtle sort of key hits on this one as well. There's some tasty lead work. There's a few guitarists in this one of note, which is cool. But once this one kicks in the gear, it doesn't really sort of let you go for the duration. It sort of starts off and then hits its pace and then just goes for the next sort of 3.5 minutes, and that's where you're at. That said, there are gear changes in this one that are pretty clever. It's a very cool, clever, well-written song. Again, it's infectious. It's got a bit of a slower chorus compared to the rest of the songs tonight, which makes this one stand out a little bit, but it makes it stand out in the best way. Like I said, short, sharp, punchy. I immediately want more from these guys, but if you want more and you're not familiar with them, they got an impressive back catalogue to go and check out as well. So there's heaps. I love this band. There's no way that once Dave didn't put this one forward, I was going to sort of take this one off the board. So, yeah, Palace of the King, Children Evolution is my pick of the week for this week. Dave, over to you.
Yeah, it was second choice. It would have been if Eclipse didn't release a song this week, but fuck. Colors of the King never, ever, ever disappoint, both in the studio and live. I've seen them live a bunch of times, and my God, they're a fucking great live band. Another killer song from them that ticks all the right boxes: killer riff, killer solo, memorable chorus. I got more slightly towards the rock side than the blues side. They're usually very heavy in the blues, but this is more of a heavier, edgier track for
more
them.
Direct.
Something, more straight, punchy in your face, which is cool. Be fucking great live. But the last few singles they've done up until like middle of last year, I think they've all been great. So if they're all on the upcoming album, holy shit, this is going to be really cool. But as you mentioned, they've got an impressive back catalogue already, but they never disappoint. So I'm certainly stoked to hear more from them.
Cool. All right, let's keep doing the rounds. Conrad, how'd you go with this one?
I love this. I thought this was
nice.
Great. This is interesting. It's different. It's got a different, unique sound to it. I can't say that I can say that they sound like anybody else. And
yeah,
for that reason,
that's true. Actually,
that reason alone, if they sound unlike something else I can describe it to, then that's a win.
Nice.
Even if I was to like that or not, that's still a good thing.
I agree with that.
I do like this. I thought it was great. I thought it was just straightforward, rock and roll. A nice tonality, great voice, very catchy. And surprised to learn that they're Australian as well. And I think that's great. That showcases we've got some great talent back there.
Oh, yeah.
And so I hope this works out for them and goes well for them because they deserve it. It's a killer track.
Nice. Cool. Well, it's going well so far.
7 out of 10.
Nice. Good. Nice. I'm happy with that. Let's go to Jeff.
Yeah, I like this a lot. This was straight ahead rock, and I checked the time. It goes for 2 minutes 9 seconds. I mean, there's nothing wasted. There's not a second wasted. So everything that you hear is exactly what they want you to hear, and that's it. And then the song's done. It's simple theme, doesn't deviate, sticks to the plot. Now, I will give it one little piece of criticism, and I did find this. I love the rhythm, but I found that the guitar solo gets lost in the mix.
Okay.
It really does. He's playing, and I was listening. I had to listen to on my speaker, and then I listened to headphones, and I still found it. You can hear it, but I think it needs to be just cranked up a little bit. It sort of gets lost. But other than that, I really enjoy it. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And once again, it does what it says on the tin. It's that good. Yep.
Nice. Cool. I'm going well so far. Belle, is it a sweet?
Yeah, you'll keep going well. The song was really cool. You just can't listen to this on low volume. It just demands you cranked up really loud each time. So when you write a killer riff like this, you don't want or need to stray too far from it. So they just let that drive the song. They played around with it a bit with some tricky drumming here and there, which was cool. So the catchy chorus, it's just the vocals were so good and perfect for the music. That guitar tone has that dirty edge that I love in rock music. The whole thing's awesome and over to I wrote over too quicky. Quicky's good. Over too quickly. I mean, so it leaves you wanting more.
That monetized in, Mel.
Oh my god!
Okay,
I got to proofread this shit.
Are you blushing?
Oh wow! Is there something on your mind?
So, anyway, because it's over so quickly, what do? You repeat it at least twice more. It's a great song. I need to check out more of these guys because I've never heard of them.
Nice.
Never heard them before. So I'll be doing that at some point.
Please do, and let me know how you go because I rate them. They're a great fucking band. They've been around for a while. Tim's been doing great things on the scene for ages as well. So they're great people doing great things. So I wish them. Where
are they from in Australia? I heard
Melbourne.
Boys.
Of course, Melbourne's the best.
Anyway, I picked it because I love the band, and when they release a new song, it's always okay, Dave. We'll get some comments here now while Dave go and finish up the red wine that was going to be used in Bolognese. Michael says, 7. Interesting film. As I recall, color temperature use was key in the narration, not just the dialogue. Soundtrack did its job, but it was the look of the film that was remarkable. 7 was a groundbreaking film in a lot of respects. Twisted, but groundbreaking for a lot of good reasons there. Really, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really.
I reckon you'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
You
so.
never seen it?
Never seen it.
Oh, wow.
When did it come out? How old is it?
97.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Well, there's no excuse, is there?
No, it's been around. No spoilers
While
for
ago.
you. Well, you want to get onto that soon because someone's going to put spoilers, I'm sure. Anyway, Rowan's gone.
Sure.
Were they Palace of the Queen prior to Lizzie's death? No.
Nice one.
He's on point. He's on
They're
point.
always Palace of the King, but
Yeah.
very good pun. I like it. Adrian says, cool track. Glad you enjoyed it. Michael says, 7 reference typo narrative, not narration. Okay, well, there we go.
95, Bell. Sorry, 95.
95. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Adrian's laughing at that. But Vinny says, wicked, Andrew. Awesome left, right, and uppercut combinations there. So we're going well so far. And Jolie says, I like it. Yes, very catchy. Cool. So more love for Palace of the King, which is awesome to see here. All right. While we wait for Dave to get back, we're going to just a quick little recap on the battle of the concept albums here. And
Right.
I tasked everyone with going through and just going, look at the albums and saying, okay, what was the lineup or the matchup? It may or may not have happened, but, what was the one you were dreading coming about? We'll go to Conrad last because this whole concept was his idea. So, Belle, let's start with you. What was the matchup you were dreading most on this one?
Oh, shit. Where are my notes on this? I've wrote some. Oh, my God. Nope.
No?
Nope.
It's like lucky dip with notes. It's awesome.
All right. Well, I'll just wing it, I guess. Okay, that's cool.
You'll find it in 5 minutes.
I'll just look. I didn't write heaps anyway. So I came into this a little bit late in the piece. I think maybe
A couple of rounds in,
3 weeks in. So I missed a couple of battles. So I hadn't really had a chance to think about, all right, what matchups out of these 10 bands would I dread if they kind of came up against each other? And to be perfectly honest, I haven't thought about it except for week to week. What's
fine.
next week? You sort of announce after we've talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. So I think I would say that I don't think I was really dreading any. I think, or probably W.A.S.P and Iron Maiden. If I was going to dread one, it would have been that. But I didn't. Cool. It didn't end up actually being all that hard in the end for me to pick out of those two, which is surprising, I guess. Again, not as surprising as some of the albums I hadn't heard before, I wasn't very familiar with. So we had matchups where I had an album that I was familiar with, like Mindcrime versus I think Scenes from a Memory. So I thought, that was a no-brainer for me. And then I still can't believe, and I was actually listening to Scenes from a Memory this week. Like I really love it. So all of a sudden, so that was a surprise. It's still a surprise that I would do that. So I wouldn't say that I was really dreading any matchups. One that we're about to do now, this is probably the worst.
Okay.
And I was kind of all week like, I don't know which way will I go. And honestly, even now, I'm not 100% sure that I will actually say I'm going with the one that I've decided I'm going with, even now. So
that's cool. I know that I did that last week. That's
that was
what happened.
Yeah.
I couldn't go either way.
Yeah, it's hard.
So anyway, that's been my experience, but it's been pretty fun overall.
All right, nice. We're not quite there yet, but Dave, what was the matchup you looked at the 10 albums, went, fuck, I hope they don't meet?
Look, But if you wanted me to talk about Dream Theater again, you could have just asked. And obviously, this is going to come into it. But the album I was terrified that this would come up against,
Nightwish.
Yeah. Imaginarium. It didn't happen. But there's a reason why both these bands are together up here. Because, Dream Theater got me back in the metal when everything has gone fucking new metal. I backtracked through the 70s by then, so they brought me back. And then from that, I discovered symphonic metal, and that opened up a whole new world for me, and everything stemmed from that. But when Dream Theater would release an album, Nightwish would release an album, they'd be going back and forth, which fucking band is it? And then for a long time, Dream Theater just dropped the ball with me. So if you asked me 9 weeks ago when we started this, I would probably have picked Imaginarium to win. But now I'd probably pick Dream Theater. But next month it could change again when I get back onto a Nightwish pad. But you bring in Crimson Idol and Welcome to My Nightmare on the Wall into that. It's just like any one of them was, I would have picked the Crimson Idol over Scenes from a Memory if they came up in the 2 semi-finals. They came up together. I explained that last week. But Nightwish versus Dream Theater was absolutely terrifying because they're 2 very, very important bands to me. So I didn't. Yeah. I'm glad. I'm disappointed Nightwish didn't get further in. But this, I think that album deserves to be a lot higher than what we did, but such is life. But I'm kind of glad those 2 albums didn't go head to head because I don't know, I might go through the whole process just for myself to see which one I would pick.
Be tough, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I honestly hope that another band or these bands or somebody comes along with something that's better than those 2 albums, because I would put them above that, because as a kid, it would have been Welcome to My Nightmare on the Wall, and then these 2 albums came along, and those ones sadly got down the rating for me. Yep. I hope something comes along that's better than that. I don't just want to be content with what I have.
Yep.
No, you don't want to be knowing that this is as high as you're ever going to get.
Yeah,
that's your favorites.
I would love to discover. I'd love to discover these albums for the first time again. That'd be fucking awesome. But I hope some other band comes along that can create that type of quality that makes me go, "Holy shit!"
It can happen.
It can happen. Fuck, there has to be enough screwed up people out there that come up with some great stories.
Definitely, definitely. I don't think that's the critique or the issue in the way. No, cool. All right, Jeff, what matchup were you dreading the most?
Well, I don't think it happened. I'm pretty sure it didn't. Is Operation Mindcrime versus Seventh Son.
Oh,
that would have been absolutely. I don't know, because I mean I love Mindcrime, but I also love Seventh Son. Now I think tonight's battle is just going to be fucking insane as well. So there's no question there. But I would have been sufficiently torn, I think, putting those those bands up and going, how the fuck do I choose? Because I love them both. They're both great albums. So that was the one that I was dreading the most. It didn't happen. So, but so that's for me. But what do you do?
True. For me, tonight's is going to be a doozy because I love both albums. Tonight's is going to be tough. It actually happened to me last week was, Pink Floyd versus W.A.S.P. Those 2 albums going head to head. That was my, oh my fucking God moment. Like, what am I going to do? That hurt. That hurt so fucking much. So we did that one. I did all my thoughts last week on that one. But so aside from that, clusterfuck for me, I think one that would have been intriguing to me personally would have been Nightwish versus Maiden. That would have been an interesting battle, just to see which way I would have gone there, because it's an interesting way. Because it's the iconic songs versus a better story, in my opinion, kind of thing. So there's a lot of there's a lot to take in from that, and I think that I agree with Dave. Actually, it would have been cool to see Nightwish go a bit further. It just came up against the wrong competition at the wrong time, kind of thing. But I think it's an underrated album that I think people
great album.
Really underrated album. And so it was just a bit of a. I was going through.
And the movie's on Tubi. I just found the movie on Tubi, so make sure you watch it.
Watch
the fucking movie.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, get on it.
But no, that would have been one that wouldn't have been, like I said, the hardest one for me already happened, and tonight's probably is the second hardest. So, just as an intriguing matchup, it would have been Nightwish versus Maiden, Imaginary versus Seventh Son. Would have been an intriguing little battle just to see what would have, come out of that. All right, Conrad, this whole thing was your idea. So when you saw the 10 albums, what were you dreading? What was a lineup that you thought, please don't, not that one?
Well, I mean, I was shocked at some of the choices of these, actually. I was a bit disappointed with some of the choices from the viewers. No offense, viewers. I wanted some other things to have gone in. Like Mastodon's Crack the Sky and War of the World.
War of
the World.
War of the World would have been awesome. Yeah.
War of the World is a masterpiece, Dave. Shut up.
Fucking disco album. Jesus Christ. John Travolta from Saturday Night Fever with his fucking white shit and everything.
I've triggered him now.
Oh, you have.
He's off.
Fucking disco.
And River Runs Red by Life of Agony. I mean, there was some other albums I would like to have seen.
Anything by King Diamond, man.
Make it into
King
this.
Diamond.
So, but for the viewers' choices and what they chose, I think the toughest would have been out of any of these three, and that would have been Mindcrime, The Wall, and Seventh Son.
Wow.
I think any of those three put up against one another would have been really fucking difficult.
Yeah.
I'm glad they kind of all ended up not aligning and not matching up, because they would have had to have chosen between those, and that would have been awful. So yeah, any of those three.
Cool. All right. Let's see. We got some comments. Let's quickly scroll here. Here we go. Rowan says Mindcrime versus Scenes from Memory was the tough one for me. So there we go. Okay. Michael says Conrad presents as God-fearing Christian, but as a devil incarnate, forcing everyone to pick and damn our favorite concept album. Welcome to Conrad's Nightmare.
Oh, that's a Vinny thing, and it came from someone else.
I know, right?
Yeah, I thought it was a Vinny comment.
I know, right? Well done.
Good job.
Well done. All right. We have one more round to go. We're going to get to that very shortly. Before we do, it's time for the next round of Build a Band, which is the Glam edition. So, again, the bands to choose from, if you've been tuning in, are Motley Crue, Warrant, Rat, Skid Row, and The Sweet. We have to have 3 bands represented in our overall lineup. We've all ticked that box. It's open season now. Everyone's got their 3 bands covered, so we're all good to go. You can do whatever you want from this point forward. No one's got to play strategy on that front. It's just a case of seeing who gets what score with their choices each week with the rotating draft order. Jeff will go first this week. To quickly recap, last week we did guitarists. Dave chose Kerry Kelly. Jeff had John Corabi. I had Andy Scott. Conrad had Scott Hill. Bell had John 5. We're going to do a different order for vocalists this time around. But just to quickly recap here, just so that everyone gets an idea of what's going on. Just to give the order of scoring, courtesy of Bell doing the work behind the scenes. So thank you again, Bell, for doing that for me. I really do appreciate it. Dave whiffed. Dave missed badly. Kerry Kelly got no votes at all. So Dave gets 10 points just for trying. So there's your participation award.
Yay!
There's your 8th place trophy. All right. Coming in fourth in this context was Jeff with John Corabi, actually. Got 20 points for his efforts there. So there we go.
I'll take it. Thank you.
I managed to come in 3rd place with Andy Scott from The Sweet. That gave me 30 points. And then, for something different, we had a tie for first. So we had Bell and Conrad on equal first, with Scott Hill from Skid Row for Conrad and Bell choosing John 5 for Motley Crue. So both of you guys tied.
Oh.
So in that context of things, what I do is I add up the first and second points, which is 90, split between the two of you, which gives you 45 each for that one. It's not quite a clean win, but not far off of it either. And you never know just how much those little points matter at the end, because it does rotate the order of people sitting in what positions. So last week, the order from last to first was Conrad, myself, Jeff, Dave, then Bell. As things currently stand now, Dave is now in the caboose, holding up the bottom end of things. Jeff is 4th. I'm 3rd. Conrad is 2nd, and Bell is starting to get to a bit of a lead. So Dave's 110 points. Jeff's 120. I'm on 130. Conrad has leapfrogged a lot of people and gone 135, and Bell is getting out there now to 165. Game.
Wow.
So a couple of good picks can really change your world. All right. So to that end, now we're going to be having the fun one. Now we're choosing our vocalists. All right. We've changed the order again. And this time around, it gets to be Jeff to go first. Pick your vocalist, Jeff.
Rob Halford. No, I'm just kidding.
You're fuck. You're not.
So, yeah, just so people know, Rob Halford is off the table. Yeah.
There's a whole back joke in that one between us all. Yeah.
That's right.
He
didn't participate long enough to be considered a vocalist. One song doesn't do it. All right. So, look, there's a lot of great singers. I've always loved from the original albums, not so much live-wise, because nowadays he can't do it much, Stephen Pearcy, but I think I can't go past Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
That had to. If you didn't take that first, I'd be like, what?
Yeah, look, he's just he's probably the best vocalist that's remaining of anyone.
Yeah.
Remember that John Corabi is out, by the way. You can't take John Corabi because he was taken as a guitarist last week.
That's right.
You cannot do that. All right. Jeff has locked his pick in. Conrad, over to you.
We got Janie Lane on the board. We've got who else is on the board out of these guys? I'm probably going to go with Stephen Pearcy. I think,
okay.
I'll take Stephen Pearcy from Rap.
He's a good singer. He's a good singer. Yeah.
He's a good singer. You just said he's not. I like him. I like his voice.
Yeah.
I like his voice.
I think it's a bit underrated. So I
those early Rat albums, man. Fuck, he made the sound.
I like his voice. I'm going with him.
Nice.
And Sebastian was taken.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Sebastian's the obvious choice, but which one are you going with? That's cool.
I'll take Stephen Pearcy. Thank you. Yeah.
Nice. Bill, you're like a bit stunned. Is that because I've taken your picks or because one didn't go yet?
Yeah, because one didn't go. I had my third choice all lined up and ready to go, but my second choice is now sitting there available, and I'm kind of thinking, shit, I feel very strongly about my third choice because I really, really love him. So I was happy with my third choice is Janie Lane.
Yeah.
Because I think he's such an underrated singer. I love his voice.
Yeah.
I just think he's just got this kind of quality that I don't know, he does it for me. But Eric Gromwell, how can you not choose Eric Gromwell?
Yeah, what the fuck, Conrad? Dude.
Are you serious? You choose Stephen Pearcy over Eric Gromwell?
Eric Gromwell? Is that who's he?
From Heat, the current Skid Row singer. Dude.
Oh, I'm not familiar. Sorry.
He's great. He's good.
He's a good singer.
He is a good singer.
Dude.
Damn it. I kind of wasn't expecting to be able to choose him.
Well, there we go.
Do I go with an old favorite or a new favorite?
Well, go with him then, if you like.
I don't know what to do.
I dropped the ball on that one, then take it.
I don't know what to do.
Well, you have to make a decision.
I know. Shit. Can we toss a coin?
And you can if you want. It's your choice.
Heads.
I hadn't had anything prepared, so that doesn't help. Shit. I'll just go with fuck. Okay. I'm gonna go with Eric. I'll go with Eric.
There you go. Good
choice.
There we go.
Yep.
Well, I'm telling you now, I reckon that if you didn't take Eric, I'm pretty sure that was Dave's next pick.
Oh, fuck yeah. As soon as Conrad didn't pick him, kind of knew Belle was because I knew she likes Heat. So I'm going with Janie Lane. So it was either or. I was wondering, come on, Belle.
I think Janie Lane will do really well.
I agree. Janie Lane's underrated. He's a fucking great songwriter and a great singer. Really good singer, actually.
I
got way too much shit.
Really good singer.
Andrew, you got to take Vince Neil. Come on.
Well, I did for the popular vote. Be interesting to try it.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting because my short, I had to make. I knew I was going to be last. So I had to make a big list just to see what was.
Come on, man! Kickstart my heart.
I could.
He is of all the vocalists left. He's probably the most well known, without a doubt.
He is. This is where do I play strategy or do I go pure vocals? Because just to quickly rattle off my list here has Vince Neil at the top with Motley Crue. You got Jamieson James from Warrant. Jizzy Pearl was in Rat. Tony Harnell was in Skid Row. And
Tony,
his
what a
collection of
voice
music
he's
is-
got. Yeah.
That's where it's like, ooh, which way do I go on that? I also have Brian Connolly from The Sweet on my list. But so for me, it really is.
Is this singers now or singers in their prime?
I know.
Because in their prime, early Vince Neil on that first album, fuck, he had a good voice.
You go to like you said, Kickstarter Hard and all the others. Like, I am going to take Vince Neil.
I think you can't go past it. Yeah.
I am going to take Vince Neil. But I'm telling you now, just for pure desire, like Tony Harnell.
Yeah.
Like
from TNT, man. Wow, what a voice.
And
he can still do it. He can still do it.
That's where it's like, and his body of work is fucking impressive. So I'll take Vince Neil, but I wouldn't have been disappointed if I'd had to take Tony Harnell in the end, because that would have been it was neck and neck. But I will take Vince Neil off the board. So just to recap, Jeff has Sebastian Bach, Conrad has Stephen Pearcy, Bell has Eric Gronwall, Dave has Janie Lane, and I've got Vince Neil. So that'll be a post coming up in the next few days about which way we're going to get that one for you all to choose which vocalist you want. So you can give us comments now, but make sure you join in a few days' time for the post that goes up for that.
I saw a concert not long, maybe 6 months ago or less, and it was TNT playing someplace in Europe.
Yeah.
And Tony Harnell, I was actually, my jaw hit the fucking floor at the notes that he can still hit.
Yep.
And he sounds just like he does on the albums. An unbelievable vocalist.
And he's FM as well.
He's 60. He's 60 something. Yeah.
His collection of work is fucking impressive. Like his work is just fuck. That's why it was actually a tougher choice. Like I'll take the easy out, but like Tony Harnell is like, bit of a dark horse in this one, just for the people that really listen to it all. But anyway, Vinny's gone. I think Sebastian is going to run away with this one. Such a strong vocalist for a hell of a long time, and that is going to be I think, the beat. Yeah. Jolie K's gone. Sebastian Bach rocks, but Rowan's gone. Oh, Tony Harnell +1. So there's a bit of love there for Tony Harnell.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Anyway, that's that one. So now we move on to our finale of the King of the Riff series. This time around, it's the number 1 seed, Queensrÿche, Operation Mindcrime, going up against the 3rd seed. We had an upset. 3rd seed got through. The Crimson Idol from W.A.S.P is what it's going up against. This is going to be interesting because we knocked them down, dragged it all out. We've gone over these ones and over them again, and we're going to sit here and see how we go. In the comments in the description box, as always, there are reference tracks for everyone to check out. Before I do, Nicole has gone. Vince Neil, Early Day Smith, Shout Out the Devil was awesome, and that's it. That's where
absolutely.
First
2 albums.
Those first, but I'd even say Saints of Los Angeles, to be honest. He found his form again on that one. To be fair, but anyway, back onto the topic though. We are going to close this out now. It's time to pick and crown our winner of the King of the Riff one. That this whole thing that Conrad has put together for us. Let's see how this one goes. Who do I go to first on this one? All right, Dave, you got the CDs up. Go first.
Really?
We know it's going to go.
Right. Okay. Now, when we started this, I wasn't expecting these 2 albums to come up to the final at all. One album has portrayal of multi-dimensional characters. The other is filled with one-dimensional characters. For me, since this is about concept albums, I've been focusing on narratives. Just not whether they have awesome songs or not, whether it's a good album. It's a concept album, not an album battle. Last week, I decided against doing a full narrative review of the Crimson Idol and appeared to have disappointed some people by not doing that. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to bore the shit out of some people because I did the work, so I'm going to figure what the hell. So the Crimson Idol opens with the Titanic Overture and includes 8 lines of lyrics, which establishes our main character and his conflict, as well as introducing our metaphoric device of the mirror.
Yes.
We've got the lyric of, I look at my face in the mirror and I don't understand. I don't feel like a boy and it's not getting clearer, but I don't feel like a man. This is a great setup that will pay off later.
Yeah.
The Invisible Boy. We learn a bit more about our protagonist. Second child, unwanted, emotionally and physically abused by his parents. His older brother was considered the perfect child. All we learn about Jonathan's older brother in the album, we don't learn about their relationship or the death of his older brother. That's all included in the spoken word track that was a B-side and included on special editions. We don't need that information, but it's cool that Blackie did the backstory of this character. 80% of what ends up on the screen for a movie, you don't know. You have to develop your character to get a fully fleshed out character that comes across. But it's cool to get that extra information later on. We still know where Jonathan's coming from. There's a lot of setup in this first track for what will occur later on in the song, in the album. There's a line spoken from the perception of the mirror. If you look at like the track, the lyrics, there's like different divisions of Jonathan to his parents, Jonathan to the crowd, Jonathan or the mirror to him, or Charlie throughout. So it's structured. So there's a line spoken from the mirror. I'm the face that you see when the face isn't yours. Perhaps this is implying that something inside of Jonathan is soon to emerge. It's very cryptic writing that Blackie has, and a lot of foreshadowing of what happens later on. This maybe is foreshadowing the rebirth at the end of the Gypsy Meets the Boy.
Yeah.
There's I was dying in the shadows of him, which refers to his older brother. The line's also re-referenced in the Great Misconception of Me later on. I was dying in the shadows and the mirror was my soul. I love this set-off and payoff. I'm the mirror, my boy, will become I'm the whipping boy at the end. The song closes with some acoustic guitar that brings to mind Pinball Wizard. There's a lot of history. Considering we're focusing on Rockstar, there's a lot of musical history in the writing and the performances. We've also got the introduction of our first lyrical theme that reoccur throughout the album. Is there no love to shelter me? Only love sets me free. This is Jonathan's recurring thought that will plague his mind for the rest of his life. So some people don't like the recurring theme and shit throughout. I think it's fucking brilliant because nobody has different thoughts throughout every waking moment of their life. There's always recurring shit going through. Now, Blackie's painted a pretty good picture of our protagonist and his situation. It's time to get him moving. So, arena of pleasure. Jonathan is sick of the abuse. At the age of 16, he runs away from home. No direction, but anything has to be better than the life he's known up to here. Will I see 17 alive? We've just established his age. That pays off again later on. He's discovered his ambition, his motivation, music. He wants to become a star. Chainsaw Charlie. Fuck, this is an awesome song. Killer riffs, killer melodies, vocal performance is fucking perfect. The addition of the chainsaw at the start is fucking great. Now, Chainsaw Charlie is a very important character who we only have in one song in this album. We get a lot of information about him too and how he affects the course of Jonathan's life. There's also enough in these lyrics to make a few assumptions. He offers Jonathan success, fame, and fortune. At the same time, he'll completely use and abuse him, which is nothing new to Jonathan. That's all he's known in his life up until here. At least Charlie's paying him some attention and gives him a means to his end, success in music, and what Jonathan will believe will make his life better. Charlie could be considered a father figure to Jonathan. He knows about all the use and abuse that's going to happen. He also provides a lot more than Jonathan's own father actually did. He gives Jonathan the chance of his goal. Now, there's some lines in there that I just thought was a cool way to describe this character. I'm a cocksucking asshole. That's what they call me. And don't mind the faggots and the ruthless scum. Before we're done, son, I'll make you one. Great way to describe Charlie. He's ruthless. He's evil. Does this also imply that he abused Jonathan? I'm starting to get a little thinking that, maybe, because if you think about Bobby Brown's biography, how she was claiming that Janie Lane was abused in his early days as a musician. It's not that much of a stretch. I'm sure it happened a lot more than we knew. If you're ambitious, there's a lot of stories that weren't told. A dark portrayal of a music executive in the 80s, it could be there. Well, the last line of this song, I'm the Tin Man, I never had a heart. That's what got me thinking more about the connection between Jonathan and Charlie. Jonathan in I Am One starts to call himself the Crimson Man. At the start of the album, he says, I don't feel like a boy. I don't feel like a man. We'll get to more of that later on when we get to the actual song. There's a lot of growth from Jonathan throughout this. So as an aspiring rock star on the verge of fame and fortune before Chainsaw Charlie can provide for him, Jonathan meets the gypsy. Gypsy meets the boy. This is a very important song. Here we get the lesson, the theme of our album. Be careful what you wish for because it might come true. And there's lines like, the higher he'd fly, the further he'd fall. He knew the risk, but he had nothing to lose. Anything had to be better than what he knew. There's a fantastic drum section in this. And it's kind of like a bridge, a passage of time, the transformation out of the mist. Rockstar emerges with his goal, the rebirth, and the lyrical motif. I just want to be the Crimson Idol of a million. So up until now, we've got Jonathan the boy. Jonathan powered with what he wants to focus his life on. Time jump, Dr. Rockstar. Jonathan's now a rock star, and he's developed a drug habit. The reference to the mirror, beating him little white lies. That's fucking brilliant. Simple, clever, and very effective. Snorting cocaine off his soul, man. He's in the thoughts have turned against him because for a while the mirror from the Invisible Boy, the mirror was the only person he could see. Now it's betrayed him. It foreshadows the conclusion of the album as well. I Am One, another important song, The Rise of Fame. Love the introduction of Blackie of Jonathan in different towns around the world, just Budokan or whatever the fuck. This is like a song.
I like how this carries from I'll Make You One to Now I Am One.
Yeah, I'll make you one, I am one. Yeah. He's made it. This is like a song within a song. Jonathan's song, what the audience come to see him for. This would be the hit single. And his lyrics are filled with his own stories. So many artists put their own stories into their lyrics, a lot of which gets ignored and overlooked because people just go for the experience, the feel. They don't dig into the lyrics. It's that old thing, when I'm happy, I enjoy the music. When I'm sad, I listen to the lyrics. Lyrics are really fucking important to music. At the same time, the song is a fuck you to his parents. It's like, look what I've achieved. So many people love me. Why can't you do the same? Yet we have the moments in the song with facade cracks, and you get that desperate cry for help, and that mood shift is fucking brilliant. We also get a next lyrical motif, Long Live the King of Mercy, followed by the familiar thought that's plagued his life since a child, Is There No Love? Those quiet moments within the rocking moments continue to reference that pain that's eating at his soul. A world of fame and success. At his feet, he's got all these people, and those thoughts still eat into him. Then we've got some great lyrics from Blackie. 18 bloody roses each year that bled my soul. Cool wordplay, and also shows he's now 2 years older from when we first met him at the start of the album. So some time has passed. Taken down to the gallows, kill the boy inside the man. Treated like a slave, the death of innocence and the loss of purity. And this is where he calls himself the Crimson Man, which also shadows the Tin Man. This is what Charlie has been able to provide for Jonathan. They've killed the boy inside the man, and this is the first time he refers to himself as a man. Success defines him. This is who he is now. He's hoping that this is what will make his life better. Now we get to the Idol. Amazing use of creating mood through music, isolation, depression. There is no one that cares for him. He's still asking that same question. Where's the love to shelter me? His one drive in life was what he had inside him, the mirror reflection. Things will be better once he achieves his goals of success, and it's failed him. He stopped looking in the mirror. If only I could stand and stare in the mirror. You just get this image of him just unable to get up, completely devoid of energy, completely helpless. Can't even look at that one thing that motivated him when he was younger. The mood of isolation and helplessness created by both music and lyrics is brilliantly done, amazingly done. Now we get Hold On To My Heart. And I was thinking recently this week whether this song is actually necessary. I hate saying that because I love the song. I love the Idol, but after the Idol, those two songs kind of keep our story in the same place. It would work with one or the other. However, Hold On To My Heart, this is the man in a very vulnerable place who's approaching a venue full of adoring fans. We've already had the Jonathan at Showtime, and then we have two songs of the same style. So he's approaching this venue full of adoring fans, none of which really know him, none of which can fill the things missing in his life. But this is a quiet and effective, reflective moment leading towards our finale, the calm before the storm. So yeah, it does work. The album could possibly work without one or the other, but two, brilliant. Re-Idolized has a lot more ballady type songs that pads it out, and it does drag it on too long. So those songs were originally written, like Miss You fits beautifully into this, but it's too much. And that song's fucking brilliant on Golgotha. But yeah, they had to trim. You can't go that far.
I think Hold On To My Heart is the decision's been made. And for people that have gone, like people that usually make a decision seem calmness before they actually go ahead and do
it's that quiet, it's that acceptance. Acceptance. And then he has to go out and perform, has to get his energy, and he just addresses everyone in the great misconceptions of me. Addresses the audience, addresses his mother, addresses his father, and he gets to admit to himself, most importantly, I don't want to be the Crimson Idol of a million. There's a line I only just picked up on this line this week. Behind my mask of sorrow, the four doors of doom behind my eyes. I've got their footprints all across my crimson mind. This is perhaps referring to his parents, his brother, and Charlie, and the effects these four people have had on his life. Or these four dooms of sorrow. They could be depression, isolation, many other different things, but it's left a little bit open. But I think it's his parents, his brother, and Charlie, because they're the most influential people on this person's life. We get the closure of our lyrical motifs. Is there no love becomes there is no love, which is heartbreakingly final. We get our warning from the gypsy, careful what you wish for because it might come true. Living in the limelight, little did I knew I was dying in the shadows and the mirror was my soul. The album's been filled with references of the mirror and how it's slowly fading out over the course of the story. His reflection, his inner thoughts, his illness, his soul, it's fading. And it also throws back to an invisible boy. I was dying in the shadows of him, his older brother. All his success has changed nothing. Musically, this is brilliant. Lyrically, the vocal performance from Blackie is fucking fantastic. I would rate this above Teams from a Memory if it came down to those two. This would have won, but it didn't. Now, after all that characterization and storyline, we get to the brilliant yet flawed Operation One-Dimensional characters. Now,
here we
what
go.
do we learn about Nicky? From Nicky, we learn Nicky hates the government and he likes drugs. Why does he hate the government? It's easy to be disillusioned, the common trait of underprivileged youth, but we never know why. He's less of a character and more of a device for Tate to get his own personal political opinions and observations across. We also don't learn why Nicky becomes a drug addict. I personally have zero sympathy for drug addicts. I never understand why people do things that make their problems worse. Stupid games, stupid prizes. But characters like Jonathan and Pink from The Wall, you get some backstory, so at least you can understand their actions and their motivations, and therefore it does invoke some sympathy. I need to know a reason, otherwise I couldn't give a flying fuck about this character. Now, Dr. X, the man with the cure, which is what? Assassinating political leaders. We all know the leader of a political party is just the face of what they stand for. Kill one, there's the successor. So even if Dr. X manages to kill every politician there, what's next? What's his plan? What's his alternative? Anarchy? It sure as hell doesn't work for everyone. It's survival of the fittest. There will always be people that rise to the top of the pack. That's kind of how society works. We're not all the same. Some people are smarter, faster, ruthless. Some people are natural leaders. So it's a bad system. It's fucked. But anarchy sure as hell doesn't protect the vulnerable, the sick, the elderly, the poor. We get no motivation from Dr. X. What the fuck? Why? I don't get it. So we don't find out what the cure is or what his motivation is. Dr. X is just as ruthless, dangerous, and corrupt as the politicians that Nicky hates. Now, Mary. What does Mary like? Mary likes cock. So apparently not Nicky's.
Good place for a pause. Yep.
Just go off, man.
Brilliant.
So what else do we learn about it? Mary likes cock. They're apparently not Nicky's. There's a line, your precious cross is gone. It made me wait so long for what you gave to everyone. So up until this point in the story, Nicky, when Nicky was sent to kill Mary, their relationship had been based on friendship and comfort. It only took a dead priest in the next room and Nicky being sent to kill Mary to get her in the mood. That's some really fucked up foreplay. Now, we don't find out why she was on the streets as a prostitute. And once again, it's hard to care about this character because there's nothing there. Now, another one-dimensional character, Father William. We don't learn shit about him. He saved Mary from the streets. And he takes her once a week, once on the altar like a sacrifice, just once. Okay, let's say he's a 4-hour man. What the fuck does Mary do with her other 164 hours in a week? Come on. We learn nothing about her. Very little about what she does. She's a device for the characters around her. Her death is tragic for Nicky. It's a loss for Nicky. It's horrifying for Nicky. Why is it tragic for her? We don't know what she's losing. We don't know shit about her character. Who gives a fuck? And there's a verse in Sister Sweet Mary that goes, no time to rest yet. We've got to stop his game before madness has a final laugh. Too much bloodshed. We're being used and fed like rats in an experiment. Cool. At this point in the story, there should be a sense of urgency. We're approaching the ending. Ultimately, the actions don't match the words. Instead of leaving town like you should, Mary stays with this dead priest, I guess because dead priests stay hard longer. And Nicky goes to speak to his boss and tells him he wants out. He's not going to kill Mary. We get the indication that Dr. X might be the nicest character in the whole thing. As a boss, at least he's approachable. Nicky didn't like what he was told to do, and like a good boss, apparently Dr. X will listen because Nicky goes straight back to him and says, I want out. I don't want to kill Mary. I can imagine the conversation from Dr. X being something along the lines of, well, Nicky, I'm glad you came to me with your concerns. As an employee, it helps me to know what my staff are feeling. I know. How about you take a long, slow, sad walk through the city streets? When you finally get back to the church where Mary's waiting with the dead priest, I'll be sure to have a nice surprise for you. And now might be a good time for you to suddenly realize you're a junkie and you're jonesing for a fix. That will be why you take so fucking long to get back there. Ugh. So Nicky takes his long, sad walk down the alleys, reading graffiti on the walls. Don't trust the needle, it lies. Guess he's forgotten that we've got no time to rest. We've got to stop his game because he's admiring the beautiful graffiti on the wall. He's a fucking junkie. Ugh. So he eventually gets back to the church. Now, without any sense of urgency or worry, spinning his thumbs, going, doo-doo-doo-doo, gee, Dr. X is a really swell guy once you get to know him. And shock, horror, Mary's dead. Why, baby, why? We just had sex for the first time. Surely I wasn't that bad. Why'd you kill yourself? After all that dick you've had, you kill yourself after me? Why? Now, breaking the silence, I don't believe in love, waiting for 22 and my empty room really doesn't advance the story all that much. Nicky mourns, Nicky runs, Nicky gets caught and is arrested. Nicky ends up in an empty room. 4 songs for that. You could cut out breaking the silence entirely. It's not needed. And waiting for 22 could just be part of my empty room. Impress, not needed. Now the album closes with the brilliant Eyes of a Stranger. And this week I just realized that the opening notes of Eyes of a Stranger is the same as the Empty Spaces from The Wall, Pink Floyd. Same, but just down knocking. Fucking brilliant. So, plot holes, stupid decisions and actions, one-dimensional characters, and nothing in place to care about any of these characters. Doesn't matter? Probably not. There's a lot of stories that are story-driven rather than character-driven, especially in the 80s. But audiences expect a lot more characterization these days. I mean, compare Karate Kid movies to Cobra Kai. First season of Cobra Kai goes for 5 hours. All 3 of the original movies go for 5 hours. The writers did a lot more characterization for Johnny and Daniel in 5 hours for Cobra Kai than in the original 3 movies. Compare Nightmare on Elm Street to Scream. Much better characters in Scream than Nightmare on Elm Street. You need to know motivation. You can't just get away with a story-driven narrative. The more time I spend with this album, the more I struggle to see why it's highly praised. Good album? Yes. Great songs? Fuck yeah. Best concept album? Not even close. When every other album on this list of the 10 albums we've done does it way better. So yeah, I'm going Crimson Idol. Not even a fucking contest.
Oh, wow. Please pick me next, please.
I can if you want. You want to go next, Jeff?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, rebut. Oh, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
All right. Queensrÿche, Operation Mindcrime, 1988, EMI, Capitol Records. I've often said that this is my desert island album. The high praise for any album, but here it's also extremely important for me to try to remain objective in my review. So having said that, I have to start this review with a caveat that I may appear to be biased, and that's because I am. So right up front, I want to say that I absolutely love this album, and I have since I first heard it 34 years ago, and I know exactly when too. For me, it would have been Friday, April 7th, 1989.
Wow.
How do I know that? Because I know the exact date, because I was supposed to go to see Metallica on April 6th in Ottawa, and Queensrÿche was opening up for Metallica on their Damaged Justice tour. But sadly, I couldn't go because I had recently broken my leg. So I was pretty much laid up. So my best friend had picked up their latest album on cassette that night at the concert in Ottawa. So now, to be fair and to be clear, I was already a big fan of Queensrÿche. Okay, I had their EP, I had The Warning, and I had Rage for Order.
Yep.
But that Friday night, when I went over to my friend's place to listen to this album that he had got and to talk about the concert, I could get around, but having a broken leg, it was a case of I didn't want to be standing in a crowd, So that was the reason I didn't go. I was blown away by what I could hear coming out of the speakers. Now, I can't remember if I had heard a single on MTV or Much Music in Canada, like Eyes of a Stranger or I Don't Believe in Love. I can't remember if I had actually heard that first. I might have. I don't know. But I do remember listening, and I was absolutely blown away. And I could never have guessed that it would be 17 years later in 2006 in another country on the other side of the planet before I would get my chance to see them live. This time, no broken leg at the former Palace in Melbourne.
Was that?
So there, yeah, I was there. So coming into this battle, I'm on the record of having said that these battles must be done on a case-by-case basis. Each head-to-head round is different from the last, even if there are biases one way or the other. And to illustrate that point, the first time Operation Mindcrime went into battle, it was up against another powerhouse album, Imaginarium by Nightwish. And now, while my strong feelings for Mindcrime haven't wavered, Imaginarium as a concept album in that round was a clear standout winner to me. So as you may recall, I voted for it over Mindcrime.
Yeah.
And I truly believe in that round that it deserved to win, and thus I gave it my vote.
Yep.
And so that's what I mean by when I say case by case basis. It would be so easy to play the favorite.
Yep.
And we've all said that. And these battles are absolutely heartbreakers, very, very difficult. And I know I'm not alone in any of this. So as it would happen, Mindcrime made it through that round and won the battle, despite my voting against it. And then later, it would go up against another brilliant album, Dream Theater's Scenes from a Memory, and it managed to battle its way past that as well. So now, here we are in the final round of this epic concept album battle, and it may have met its match, its biggest foe, the Crimson Idol.
Wow.
Seemingly two different albums in a nutshell. One is about what happens when your dream of becoming a rock star comes true, including all the trappings and misgivings and disillusionments that come with that. And the other about a young, misguided, impressionable heroin addict who gets mixed up with an underground cabal of far-left revolutionists hell-bent on tearing down the establishment, one assassination at a time, and starting the New World Order. Both albums are very well written and played extremely well by those in their respective bands. But production-wise, I think there's a clear winner here. In my opinion, Mindcrime is leagues ahead of Crimson Idol in this department. I don't even think it's close. Even with the multiple remasters that Idol would later get, one only has to listen to the polish found in Mindcrime to hear the differences, despite the fact that it was 4 years older when Crimson Idol came out. So Crimson Idol can't compete here. Scope. Another area where I believe Crimson Idol falls behind. But scope is not the same as complexity. I think it would be a difficult challenge to argue that the sheer scope of Mindcrime is not set on a much larger stage than the one found on Idol. Whereas I do feel that Idol is a far more focused album, almost to the point of it being singular in scope, which is fine. And that is not a criticism at all. It knows what it's trying to do, and it does so with flair. So I do think both albums are sufficiently complex, especially if you allow for the larger backstory that was later included by Blackie when the album was remastered and released with extra bonus tracks, such as the story of Jonathan in 1998. Some would argue that these additions do not deserve to be included in the story as it wasn't part of the original release of 92, and that's a fair argument.
Yeah.
On the other side of the coin, with Mindcrime. We would see deluxe versions over the years, remastered, etc., but none of them had inserted any extra material or songs, just live versions of those songs. So what you got on the original 1988 version was what you got with the later iterations of the album. W.A.S.P would go on to put out 2 iterations of the album, remastered with additional tracks, as mentioned above, and then a re-idolized version, which came out in 2018. And to me, it's as if Blackie was never really happy with what came out, and he was on a constant quest to try to update it and make it better. And this, to me, is a shame, as I don't agree with that mentality. I think it works just fine when it came out 31 years ago in 1992. Leave well enough alone.
Agree. Yeah.
Further, one could argue that the 2006 release of Operation Mindcrime 2 was a money grab and nothing more. I rarely listen to that album, as I don't think it has much in the way to offer an improvement over the original story. In fact, I would go so far as to say that album is pretty much shit. It's an embarrassment. It should never have been made. No Chris DeGarmo, no Mindcrime, period. Again,
I've never heard it, but I'd probably like it because I tend to like the album. People don't, and it would probably answer some of the fucking questions.
Yeah, I don't think it does. It tries, but I don't think it does.
Okay.
But you have a listen. I think you'll agree. It's pretty crap. But again, leave well enough alone. Now, in my opinion, it has one redeeming feature. It has a wonderful cameo from Dio as the sinister Dr. X, the man with the cure. That's what makes this album worthy of listening to. So here we are again in the final round of this epic concept battle. And we're finding more and more reasons to separate these 2 albums. Now, originally, I was tempted to do a track-by-track breakdown of each song on each album. Then I realized if I did that, this review would take up half the show. And as it is, this review is quite long. But bear with me, there is a method to my madness. In The Crimson Idol, we are treated to a powerful, emotional rock opera of disillusionment of what it truly means to be a rock star. And with it, Blackie doesn't pull any punches. He lets the fans know that being a rock star, while it's a great dream, it comes with its inherent dangers. And if you aren't aware of them, it will swallow you up and spit you out. In short, you will lose yourself in the machine, or the Rue Morgue, as he calls it. And there you will become someone else's concept of a rock star. Now, I do believe this was Blackie's love letter to the fans, saying that if you really want to pursue this life that I've done, you can have it all of your wildest dreams. But you need to know what you're getting yourself into. It's not all glamour like the magazines and video shows. This is a cautionary tale. And what's more, I truly believe that this message comes from the heart. There are moments that can genuinely moisten your eyes if you let it, and I know it has for me. It's an emotional ride from beginning to end with all the trappings left bare, so you know what to expect should you seek to walk down this road seemingly paved with gold. And it's there that you realize that it's anything but gold. It has the power to not only change you, but if you aren't careful for what you wish for, it could take your life as well, as it does with our main character, Jonathan Steele. Now, just as I said, this album is full of emotion from top to bottom, and therein lies its greatest strength. There are songs here that really pull at your heartstrings, and you can hear the emotion in Blackie's voice as he sings them. And we can all relate to wanting to be like our idols. Who hasn't dreamt of being a rock star? Who hasn't stood in front of a mirror and played air guitar to their favorite song? Every single one of us has had that dream. Yeah. And it's the magic. That's what the magic that music brings into our lives. And if you dream it, you can do it. But one has to be willing to sacrifice everything, including yourself, if you want to make it. But in this message lies the album's greatest weakness as well. What Blackie describes here is from another era. He paints a picture of the music industry and the practices that music industry simply no longer exist. Technology has forever changed the music industry, even if you could say that an industry still exists at all. In our world that we live in now, we seldom see artists that are created, molded, or shaped like we once did by that industry, as Blackie describes. Maybe with boy bands like BTS, so that sort of thing, but certainly not with rock or metal music. It's not like it used to be. I think the dangers of what Blackie describes as a cautioning tale awaiting kids who dream of being rock stars is no longer relevant to our world that we find ourselves in. So by that extension, essentially what happens is the story of our protagonist, Jonathan Steele, was possible once in a bygone era, but no longer. And for me, that takes away some of the magic that was once so strong with this album. When it came back out at the start of the 90s, it was almost considered sage advice. As in, this is what you can expect if you take this road. So I would say that musically, it's fantastic. There is decent playing throughout the songs, and they're well arranged and placed. But if the music here, like on music on all thematic concept albums, only serves as a delivery device for the larger, more important theme or message, then at the risk of sounding brutal in my approach, I would say that its core message is lost. Meaning the entire thematic approach of this album, while it remains solid with fantastic individual songs, as a whole, as a concept album, fails to remain relevant today, and only does so in a nostalgic sense, homage to another time, another era. The same, however, cannot be said of Mindcrime. The themes in which it is embedded here are firmly planted in the world in which we live in now. In many ways, it's a political themed album that has only become more relevant into the world we live in. I don't think that this is a testament to a crystal ball that was used by the band when they crafted this masterpiece, but rather it was familiar subjects in which it was rooted: crime, drugs, sex, politics, power, machinations, brainwashing, assassinations. This is a musical tale with familiar themes found in literary works such as The Manchurian Candidate and 3 Days of the Condor. It's incredible to put into words or to simplify the enormous scale of Operation Mindcrime, and many have tried over the years. It has so many layers of what it's trying to say, what it is trying to accomplish. The more you dig, the more layers you find. In this sense, it may be very well be the hands-down winner on sheer scale alone. But I've also heard some people call it Operation Plot Hole or Operation One-Dimensional Characters. Not missing any names, Dave.
I'll stick by that statement. It's
fine.
very fucking thin.
Sure. Go for it.
And while you're entitled to your opinion, I firmly believe that anyone who thinks this way has missed the point. And if that's the case, there is hope for you yet. Characters are quite fleshed out if you give them a chance. For example, we know that Nick is on the street, a young heroin addict living high from one high to the next, but he's looking for something.
Why?
More because he's looking for more, something to give his life meaning. He's
Why?
Impressionable because the situation he's in. He's a drug. He's a drug.
We know Jonathan's why. We know Pink's why. We know fucking Nicholas's why from Sins from Memory. We don't know Nikki's why. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But he's looking for more things to give his life meaning. He's impressionable and eager for someone to come and help him out of the rut that he's in, which makes him desperate. Just the sort of person that Dr. X can use for his coming revolution. Then there's Dr. X, the man with the cure, who not only sees the world's ills, he alone knows what needs to be done to fix it. He's extremely charismatic, which helps him draw people into his cause and share his vision. His arguments are persuasive. We don't know much about his background, but we know that he's well connected and he has resources. And perhaps most importantly, he has the answers, which means he's intelligent, or at least he thinks he is.
What answers? We don't hear any of this shit.
You've come to see the doctor, and he'll show you the
You
cure.
don't see any of this.
He doesn't
shit.
show us.
You don't see it, Dave.
No, I don't.
That's fine. You're entitled.
Where are the answers? What is his plan? It is not there.
It is there. You just haven't read. Sometimes you've heard the old saying, read between the lines. You haven't done that.
No. I don't want to read between the fucking lines. I can't make any assumptions because there's not enough there.
Well, anyway, we'll see if by the end of it, we'll see if you've got a better understanding. So as I said, he thinks he's intelligent. He's coming off as intelligent. He thinks he's intelligent. And sometimes that can be a very dangerous thing when someone thinks they're intelligent and they're not. So
usual schools, yes.
Yep. You've come to see the doctor and he'll show you the cure. He's going to take away your questions and he's going to make you sure. Dr. X keeps Nikki under control by feeding his heroin addiction. He's able to turn Nikki into an assassin by filling his head full of lies about how his mission will change the world. And when people wonder how it all came about, they will see him and hold him up as the hero, and then people will revere him for all time. Every revolution has its heroes. Nikki believes this. It motivates and it feeds into his ego of wanting for something more for his life. And he will get to fix his life and change the world all at the same time. He will finally get to break free and make something of his life. It's the perfect marriage. Dr. X believes the only way forward is to get rid of fat, corrupted politicians who spend their days talking out of both sides of their mouths. The time for negotiation is past. They've had their chance, and so now is the time for action. The signs of change are all around, and all you have to do is pay attention to know that it's right, because there's a growing feeling that taking a chance on a new kind of vision is due. He believes
I didn't get any of that from the lyrics. And what is this new vision?
It's right in the lyrics. That's from the lyrics. There's a growing feeling about taking a chance on a new kind of vision is due. It's revolution.
What is this new kind of vision?
It's revolution.
What's he suggesting? What's the revolution?
It's tearing down the government. And how do you
then what? This? Tear down the government. Then what? What do you give us afterwards?
What does every revolution do? That's what every revolution.
They always promise utopia.
It's not going to work. Get rid of them, and we will. It doesn't mean they're going to be better.
As flawed as the system is, anarchy and no leaders doesn't provide for the unprivileged.
There's no question that that's a quality of it, but there's no way they're saying we're going to replace the government with anarchy. What they're saying is we're going to get rid of what's there. These fat cats are going, and if they don't want to leave, we're just going to get rid of them any way we can. So. Yeah, there's a growing feeling taking a chance on a new kind of vision is due. He believes that if society won't do anything about it, then it's up to him. And together, they will start a revolution, one assassination at a time. And if they have to, they will burn the White House down. There's a reason it's called the White House.
The White House is just a building. The people that fill it can be any fucking way.
Dave, I think it's important to remember that in the context of the narrative, they're convincing a drug addict, not you.
Yeah. And there's a reason it's called the White House, because it was burnt down by the Canadians and they repainted it white. Did you know that? Because it was black soot. The Canadians burnt it. Yeah, the Canadians did it. That's right. You can. That's true. It's true. Yeah. Anyway. So then we have Father William. Now we learn all we need to know about Father William moments before he's assassinated by Nikki. He's a corrupt church figure who only cares about money. When he speaks about God, he asks his congregation to reach deep into their hearts and their pocketbooks and take his hand. We learn that he's using money from the church to help fund Dr. X and his cause. But we also know that he saved Mary from the streets and turned her into a nun. She's Sister Mary now, and she's already a prostitute. He wants to turn her into his personal sex slave, and he takes her once a week on the altar like a sacrifice. Sorry? I didn't catch that. What'd you say?
He's too cheap to pay.
Yeah, he's too cheap to pay. Yeah. Hey, why? If it's there, why not take it, right? And she's already
whole thing she hasn't done manipulation. It That's the point. it's all
That's right.
Both albums are manipulation at the end of the day.
That's exactly quality.
Right. Yep. Hey, well, it is. It is what it is, or was what it was. Now that leads us to our final character, Sweet Sister Mary. Now we don't know too much about her, other than her being a prostitute who Father William saved from the streets near Times Square. What we do learn is that she's now being used to provide sex for those in the organization, and now for our main character, as that helps him keep him satiated while he's waiting for the call that will send him out on his mission of revolution as she feeds his skin. We learn that Nikki has fallen in love with her, and that later, when Dr. X orders him to kill Mary and the priest, Nikki becomes disillusioned again and balks at the order. that he cannot carry out this order of killing the woman that he loves. It's clear that he doesn't care about the priest and he only sees him as a loose end. Plus, he knows that what Father Williams has been doing to Mary. So getting rid of him, that's not an issue.
Question. Well, I brought up last time that Dr. X doesn't invoke the Mindcrime control thing when he orders Nikki to kill Mary. Why? That's really out of character for Dr. X. Why does he give Nikki free choice?
Well, because
he meets him on the street. To test his loyalty?
No. Well, phones didn't really exist back in the 80s and cars. He meets him on the street. You can hear the window going, and that's what he says to kill Mary. And then he says, kill her. That's all you have to do. Kill Mary. She's a risk.
Which implies that he's not under the Mindcrime control.
But
he's given free will.
Because that was something that happened later. The Mindcrime thing was to do these assassinations. It was never about killing Mary. He never would have agreed to it. He never would have agreed to it.
Why would Dr. X give him free will?
It doesn't.
It makes no sense.
Have you not watched The Manchurian Candidate? It's not like the guy is just walking like a robot and talking like a robot. He exists in society.
No, but I would also argue, if I can interject here for a second, I'd also argue that there's also a level of expected control. If X thinks he has Nikki under his thumb, he'll just tell him to do what he wants anyway without having to invoke.
But surely, if Mary's become a risk, it's because Nikki has told her everything. So Dr. X obviously knows that Nikki cares about her.
That doesn't
Why would he send him to kill Mary?
Because he wants to see what he wants to see how much control he has.
Did you ever
and he's got total control.
But this is my problem. This is where it breaks down. One, is Dr. X stupid because he's given Nikki this choice? And two, why the fuck does Nikki go back to Dr. X to tell him he's not going to do it while Mary stays in the spot where she's going to get killed?
That they were.
Well, I mean,
I believe when this was written, they were expecting people to dissect it and pull it apart.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
Any form of art that's released into the world is going to get dissected. That's what people do. That's the whole point of releasing things into the world.
And analyzed.
People just don't casually consume things.
I would argue that releasing things into the world is one's own expression versus expecting anything else.
And everyone's going to dissect it. That's what people, especially when it gets highly revered as being the greatest one of all time.
Is just enjoyed.
I'd argue
this is why I come up with Operation Plot Hole. It makes no sense. It's out of character for Dr. X to do.
And you've made your point.
I'm sorry. I'll shut the fuck up.
I just looked.
I made Bell leave again.
It's all good. I've still got lots to go. I've only about halfway there. Sorry, guys.
I've got a concert to get to. All right, I've got a kiss. I've got a kiss concert to get to.
I'll get you there. I'll get you there. It's not that.
About half an hour. About half an hour. I've got to jump in the shower and get to a kiss
Not
concert.
a problem. I will finish. I'm almost done. I don't know where Belle went, but
we'll get her back. I think she was sneezing.
Do you want me to wait for her?
No, keep going.
Nope.
Well, she hasn't decided which way she's going to vote yet. So my story might
may sway her one way or the other.
You never know.
Never know. Well,
let's give her 30 seconds.
Okay,
let's play the Jeopardy music. Gagged when someone else is talking.
Hang on. To save some time, I'll go through some comments as a bit of an interlude here, just to sort of break things up a bit. So, go some comments here. So, Michael chimed in before with Saints of Los Angeles. Good call, Andrew, for Vince's vocal. So that was some raps there for that one. All right. So Rowan says, reminder to Dave that concept doesn't mean story; it means concept.
That depends on if it's a concept album or a rock opera. A rock opera has a narrative. A concept album has a concept. There is a difference.
Dave.
There's a difference.
Dave.
Well, I'll tell you. Concept albums they have a central theme of a concept. These can be compositional, lyrical, instrumental, or narrative. It's one of the four. And Belle's gone.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone completely.
Sure, we'll find out what's happening there. I'll get onto that one. Adrian said, tough decision. It's a coin toss. So there we go. Michael says also, Dave, remember narrative, i.e. story, is not always just words, but when it is, does not always need to be obvious on concept albums or films. Rowan says, okay, so there was only one album that had a chance against Mindcrime Man. It wasn't Crimson Idol, as much as I liked Idol. So this week I've been trying to figure out how close Idol gets. Okay, interesting. Sabas, good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. He goes, I think Bob Kulick, Bruce Kulick of Kiss's brother, played guitar on Crimson Idol. Yes.
On the original.
Yep. Not on the re-recording, but on the original, right. Yes. Rowan says, prior to the start of this series, I made a list of my about 60 favorite concert albums. Fucking hell. And today I sit down and roughly order them. For reference, Mindcrime is number 3. Wow. I want to know what's number 1. Followed, I've listened to Idol about 15 times now, so I think I have a fair feel for it. I ended up placing it in that list around 50.
That makes sense to me. It wouldn't even make my top 10.
Okay. But that said, it shouldn't be taken to mean I don't like it because it's one of my favorite discoveries from the series. It's just that most of my album collection is concert albums and I love a lot of them. So there we go. Getting some interesting comments here. Nicole says, my album collection seals my choice. One album I have, one I don't. Okay. Rowan says, but they're an interesting pair of albums. The one is very cinematic. The other is very narrative. One expresses a lot of that old light and shadiness music. The other is relentless from start to end. Michael says, Rowan, I find the production on these 2 albums chalk and cheese. I find your comment nails it well. So there we go. But in the end, from Rowan, even if Mindcrime was to only Sweet Sister Mary, I would still have to pick Mindcrime just because that appeals 100% to my personal taste. And then Michael's followed with Operation Mindcrime is so well crafted. Out of these 2, it wins hands down.
Not even close.
On one hand, spoon-fed dialogue. On the other hand, open to your interpretation storytelling. And that's a different vibe there in itself. Bash has asked which album ended up in front with the viewers. I'm not sure about the final polling. I didn't really do that one in this context, but it was the number 1 seed overall.
I'd like the viewers to decide on this.
Okay.
The viewers decide on this. I think it should be down to the viewers to decide. So you count up who
I can go through and tell
Mindcrime or Crimson Idol, and I say we let the viewers decide.
I know there's 5 of us. We'll stick with the 5 of us, man. That's what we've been done.
I just called Bell and there's no answer. I've heard number. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully everything's okay. I'm not sure. We'll have to. Oh, hang on. We're getting some action there. Hold on. Are you back with us, Belle?
Oh, sorry.
You okay?
Oh my god. Oh, yeah. I think
You replaced the hamster.
My laptop went flat.
Okay. No, it's all good. I called you. I thought I better give you a call. So if you get a number, that's me.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good.
I'm almost
done. I went to the bathroom and then I came back and it was all off. I'm like, oh shit.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that was kind of sobering. Better fix that up, right?
Yeah. More drink.
There we go.
More drink.
All right, so I'll pick up where I left off and Dave gets back.
Keep talking.
Okay,
we know where
Dave
lands. Okay, you have to convince him.
No, that's right. That's just true. Well, hey, I haven't decided which way I'm going yet. I'm just I'm laying it out. So now I'll just kind of back up a little bit, just a couple lines. So we learned that Nikki has fallen in love with Sister Mary, and that when Dr. X later orders him to kill Mary and the priest, Nikki becomes disillusioned again and balks at the order as he cannot make himself carry out the order of killing the woman he loves.
Yeah.
It's clear that he doesn't care about the priest and he only sees him as a loose end. Plus, he knows what Father William has been doing to Mary. And now that he's in love with her, he will do whatever is needed to keep her safe. Later on in the story, when Mary turns up dead, Nikki doesn't know if it was he who actually killed her. Yeah. All he knows is that someone did, and that she's lying dead with her rosary wrapped around her throat. Perhaps she committed suicide. This is the eternal question that was asked for years after the album came out. And we now know that it was, in fact, Dr. X who murdered her, as he saw that Nikki had fallen in love with her, and for that love affair was making Nikki less and less obedient to the will of Dr. X. So after he was ordered to kill her. That's all you have to do. And when Nikki wouldn't do it, Dr. X does. So I urge anyone to sit down with the lyrics and follow along song by song, line by line. I think that we will find that there's more here than what you realize it. And if you still don't get it, well, I don't know what to say. I think this is a story for the ages.
I was trying to shut up, but the question is, why does Nikki take so long to get back from talking to Dr. X to get back to the church when he knows Mary's life is in danger? And how the fuck does Dr. X get to Mary so quickly to be able to murder her?
First of all, the story's not linear like that. It's not. The story doesn't take
place. Even a Tarantino movie is fucking linear when you put it all in order.
It's not about
doesn't take place
location
in
of
an
where they
hour.
are. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, though. You can't kill somebody if you're talking to somebody else at the same
I
time.
have a question.
It doesn't.
It's
I
like
have a
this.
question.
Yes.
I've got a point. Is it Dr. X himself that kills Mary, or
Yeah.
does he send one of his cronies?
No, Dr. X himself.
Apparently, yes.
When we saw him in 2006, that was answered. That question was answered.
Apparently that's the answer. Which raises
Dr.
the
X,
question: how is Dr. X in two places at once? I don't care if
He's
it's linear
not.
or not. Even a Tarantino movie makes sense when you put all the pieces together. But if Nikki is talking to Dr. X,
take
you
place
can't.
in 70 minutes? Is the whole story of his whole life?
No, it's over the course of time.
Same with this.
But it's within the same day, within the same couple of hours.
This is
Nikki
not in the
just
same
left.
day.
Nikki
Not
just left the
necessarily.
church and Mary is alive. He returns to the church and she's dead. The only thing he did
No,
in the meantime was talk to
someone
Dr. X and take a long,
wires
slow,
crossed.
sad walk home.
Hey,
You
Dave.
talk about you don't read between the lines.
Phil.
That's reading between the lines, and you've come to some weird conclusion that's not there. I don't know what
It
to
is
say.
there. Okay, am I wrong? Nikki's sent to kill Mary. Okay, Nikki doesn't want to kill Mary. Nikki goes to confront Dr. X. Mary waits in the church with the dead priest. Nikki talks to Dr. X.
We don't know.
Okay,
that she's
Nikki
waiting with the
talks to
priest with the
Dr.
dead
X and
priest.
says he wants out. Nikki leaves, takes a walk through the suburbs, reading the graffiti on the
You're
wall,
missing.
returns to the church and finds Mary dead.
When does
So at some point in that section, Dr. X has left, gone to kill Mary, left. Nikki
No.
returns to the
you
church,
hear the
finds Mary
sirens?
dead.
You know those sirens you hear later on in the song? That's them. That's the police going to the church because, okay. So what we find out is when he kills, he says, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned."
Yeah.
We hear Father William talking to his congregation. There's people in the fucking church, Dave.
Yeah.
She does not. So it's not like he's just going to
So while there's people that
move the body.
So where's Mary?
She who knows where she is? She's not there.
Does it need to be that deep? Does it need to be that detailed for it? Does it need to be?
But
I think it's unnecessary to be that anal about it all.
But you need to. It's supposed to make sense. It doesn't.
It does make sense. But let me
Okay, hang on. Can we put a pin? Because I think we all agree that it doesn't make sense to Dave. We know that.
Okay.
That's established.
Yeah.
Let's find out where Jeff goes with this.
All right. Can you get to the bottom of this?
Yes. Thank you. Okay. So I believe that with Mindcrime, perhaps more so than any of the other albums that we've reviewed thus far, that it's the music that draws you in, but it's the story that makes you stay. I think that it's an incredible story, brilliantly told by a band that was musically on top of their game. Keep in mind that this was only the band's third album. And while it never achieved the multi-platinum album sales of their next album, Empire, in 1990, that album's massive success would end up being the catalyst and the gateway that would lead many people back to this album. Okay. And it would eventually push it further into the echelons of concept album nirvana. I like that. All right. Now, it would help push the album to platinum sales of 1 million album sales in the US. And this is why in 1991, 3 years after Mindcrime was released, from the success of Empire gave them, they would do something that few bands had ever bothered to do. They would plow money back into their previous album, and they would actually go back out on tour to fully support Mindcrime, giving it the tour that they thought that it originally deserved. How many bands do that? Zero. Yeah. And they also went on to release an excellent video, Operation Live Crime, for all those who may have missed out. And it's still one of my all-time favorite concerts to watch. And as luck would have it, I would get to see them again in Melbourne at the Palace, RIP, RIP, in 2006, performing both Operation Mindcrime 1 and 2 back to back. Now, this album takes on a lot of subjects, and it opens it up to a lot of criticism, but is also a showcase for the many talents of the band behind it. Mindcrime is a smorgasbord of concept and ideas. The band treats us musically, tonally, lyrically, and thematically. Along with these concepts of betrayal, political power plays, assassination, sex, drugs, religion, governmental corruption, corporate greed, love, loss, pain, and fear. And none of them are superficial. All of these concepts are woven deep into the songs and fleshed out through the lyrics. The narrative and compositional sound bites that we are treated to on this album is immense. I firmly believe that these themes and elements are as strong today in our society as they ever were. And while these concepts were nothing new at the time in the 80s when this album was conceptualized and written, in the 35 years that has passed since it came out, we have history to show that we've all seen these things time and time again, underscoring that this album is as relevant today as the day it was released. And while I have said I cannot personally relate to any of these characters, the story in which it is woven is a rich tapestry and will stand the test of time. What Geoff Tate and band have accomplished here will forever stamp their mark in music history. There is a reason why so many consider this to be one of, if not the greatest concept album of all time. And that's quite a claim. So does the album live up to the hype? I think it does. And I think it not only lives up to the hype of that, I think it surpasses it. I think that this album is one of the greatest concept albums of all time, but is also one of the greatest albums of all time, full stop. Wow. I think that with the Crimson Idol, as I suggested, sorry, the cough. I think it was the Crimson Idol, as I suggested, it's a fantastic album musically, even if it does repeat itself quite often. And some would say that that is part of its charm. Regardless, I do feel that thematically, it has dated rather poorly and isn't quite the story it once was due to the reasons that I gave above, but through no fault of its own. It's purely the world in which we live in now. And I don't think this takes away from its story. But I do feel that for this very reason, existing in the first place as a once cautionary tale means that it's far less relevant today than it was in 1992, a bygone era. And for that reason, held up in context next to Mindcrime, by comparison, my vote has to be for Operation Mindcrime. Done.
Well put. All right.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for putting up with that one. Wow.
Hey, Jeff, you'll be pleased to know when I went inside for a drink, Julia told me to shut the fuck up and let Jeff talk.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you. No, it's okay.
Thanks, Julia. I've got a concert.
She just wanted to show. She just wanted to go over as well. I get it. It was a long one.
And for context, she's not even watching. She can actually hear me, and I'm outside.
Sure you can, Dave. I think the whole street can hear you. So, for people in Dingley, I apologize.
That guy's talking to himself again.
All right, let's get to the man who's under the most time pressure. Let's go to Conrad next. Follow that up.
Well, I'm going to have to go with the Crimson Idol.
Really?
What?
No, I knew that was going to be
ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's up against. I'm sorry.
Ridiculous.
Mindcrime's too strong. It's just too strong. It's a mammoth record. It's a behemoth of a thing. It sounds, as Jeff mentioned earlier, it sounds just as strong today as it did when it came. I think it sounds just as strong, and not only does it sound just as strong, I think the storyline is relevant, and the things that it addresses is probably more relevant today than it was when it was written. 35 years on, and it still sounds stunning and holds up. I think it sounds like it came out yesterday. So it's too strong against The Idol. I'm sorry. The Idol's a great record, and I love W.A.S.P.
Yeah.
But I would probably rate Golgotha over the Crimson Idol.
Okay.
There you are.
I love that album too. So yeah,
I love that record as well. Look, it's as stunning as a Crimson Idol is. It is brilliant. It's a fantastic piece of work. I think that Mindcrime's it's up against too much of a behemoth of a thing that is Mindcrime, and Mindcrime is it's a great story. It's a fantastic journey. The songs are really, really well crafted. And is it, even though it's like to be listened in as one sort of to listen to, even though it's designed to be listened to as a single piece of music to listen to it from start to finish, I can play songs off this in a rock club, 3 or 4 songs off this in a rock club, and they'll go down a storm, and have done. I play Needle Lies, I play Eyes of a Stranger, I Don't Believe in Love, The Mission. Any of those tracks will go down a storm in a rock club, even Revolution Calling, So it has everything. It's too big to go up against. I'm sorry. day. But Mindcrime wins this for me. I'm not going to go into some huge analogy over the storyline.
I think I did that.
Other people have done that for me. I think other people have dissected and pulled it apart enough for me not to do that or justify it. It just, I think Desert Island, it has to win over preference over Crimson Idol. It would win. So yeah.
You think it's your Desert Island?
I think it's a fantastic piece of work. Classic Rock Magazine voted this number 2 out of best concept of all time. Number one went to Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So,
cool.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even consider that to be a concept album.
Yeah, it is viewed. It is viewed as a concept album.
It is.
So yeah, I think I'll shut up and I'll say Mindcrime is going through.
Brilliant.
Hands down.
That was,
Just for those. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Is there anything
by Country Mile? Yeah, by Country Mile.
Okay. Fair enough. Just for those wondering, because Basher did ask earlier on which album ended up in the front with the viewers. While we were doing all this debating back and forth and getting Dave to shut up, I actually did go and count it up. So I have that result. I will get to that.
Right, because I want the viewers to decide on this.
I have a viewer decision on this as well, so we'll go with this. But I'm going to go next. We're going to put Belle on the hot seat for this one.
Oh, Belle.
Right.
I'm going to put Belle on the hot seat. Look, long story short, we've gone through so much just to get to this point. It's time for us to pick a winner. It's funny how
I had no idea it was going to be this big.
I know. Well, we're here now. We're almost done. We're nearly at the finish line, Conrad.
Epic.
But it's deserving of that because there's concept albums by their nature are more grand than the traditional album, so to speak.
And there's lots to digest in them. Yeah.
There is, and you need to spend the time on them, which is why we're going to so much depth with these albums. I know it's a long one, but forgive us, folks. Look. I think they're both still contemporary. But I think also it's funny how we went through just going back through the whole process. We had some iconic ones like, for me, Pink Floyd, and that didn't quite make it through to this point. We've gotten through a lot of the ones that inspired these albums, but these albums seem to have taken the mantle. Like Dave said earlier on, it's like you want another one to come through later on to give you that feeling again, but it's like the newer ones have taken the original idea and expanded and made it better. What's really cool about this whole process for me personally is that as the weeks go on, I'm not tired of either of these two albums. I love them both to bits. If anything, I love them both more. And it's also cool to keep picking up on new little details each time. Like, for example, in the case of these two albums, the importance of the mirror in both of these stories. For Black, for the Crimson Idol, it's incredibly obvious, but it's a more subtle reference in Mindcrime, but it's the eyes of the stranger kind of thing. That's where it all sort of comes to its point. Now, so the mirror being so important to both these stories, I think was really remarkable. There is still so much more we could explore and hypothesize. I think it's been done to death now, but, but Dave's insight last week in particular about, the insight into Pink being Jonathan's father was an interesting little, and there's ways incredible. There's ways you can tie all these together, and that's the really cool thing when you start to really expand your there's so much you can do with this whole space. But for me, both of these albums are all-time greats. The audience was more split on this than I thought. I actually went through and I saw some comments earlier on, and then I was going through, and then before I counted them up, and it's literally one vote splits the two albums, by the way. So it's not at all a fucking one-way street. It's one vote, one comment is what separates these two albums from the audience point of view as well. So it is a very split decision here. It went a run one way, then a run the other way. It was just one of those ones where you watch a player go, fuck, okay. Really interesting to watch that one just go through it and see it all. I find they're both exceptionally well executed. They both have fantastic energy, fantastic performances, the writing, production, the works. I know that there's differences, but I just think they both suit what they're doing. I think that, yes, the production is different in both albums, but they suit the styles and the vibes of them both overall incredibly well. I don't think you'd want Mindcrime's production on Idol and vice versa. I don't think you'd want that. I think they work the way they are. When it comes down to it, for me personally, when it comes to the execution, the storytelling in both albums, I think that the performances, it's so hard to split these ones. It just comes down to your, as an individual, how you feel when you listen to these albums personally. That to me is what music is, what it's all about. It's like, it's feelings expressed in such a way that everyone can understand. I think they both make great use of motifs that, which is an underrated aspect of concept albums in general. Like, it's more obvious in Idol, but there are those things like the riff that plays through the phone and becomes a part of the song. Like there are different refrains that come through in Mindcrime that are important as well. I think it's incredibly hard to fault either of these albums. I think they're both absolutely fantastic. They're both memorable. They're both immersive. I love playing these ones over and over again. I'm not tired of them at all. After all these weeks, I love them both to bits. They're both powerful cautionary tales. I think they both highlight, for me personally, what love or the absence of it will do to an individual or to their soul. I think that, all the characters in Mindcrime, for example, the absence of love or care is what, for me, drove them to where they are. Like they're all looking for acceptance, to look to be a part of something, to be a part of a family, to be a part of belonging. And that's what love and all those things are to people, in my point of view. That's where the core emotive aspect of these things come down to it. And for Idol, it's far more obvious. I mean, it's a lyrical refrain, but it's still so important. The idea of acceptance, love, being a part of something or meaning something to someone else apart from yourself is incredibly important to both of these stories. At the end of the day, we have to crown a winner. It's fucking hard. I think the one is more clinical execution versus raw emotive power when it comes to how you split these two for me. And I think both of those aspects highlighted in their own way take both of these albums to the next level, which makes it even harder again. It's easy to see why both of these are so goddamn loved. For me, it comes down to, if you've got two albums to choose from, which one are you pulling up from the shelf first? And that's the only way I can split this thing. And it's incredibly hard to do. And that's where you put it down to. It's like, okay, if you've got the gun to your head, you got to put one of those albums out. Okay, which one are you pulling out first? And that's literally the place you have to go to for me, because I can't split them any other way. It's like, okay, which one are you instinctively, which one are you going for? Because like last week, it was like, even though I had my pick, it was like my heart sank, because I knew the one I loved still wasn't going to go through, even though the one I loved did go through. It was a weird thing. It's more of the same this week in a lot of respects, but for me, it comes down to what you connect with emotionally more, which character or characters you can more relate to. I can certainly empathize on a mental level and completely understand one album, while the other one completely digs into my heart and to my soul, which probably says more about me than anything else when you break it all down, which one speaks to me personally and where I go mentally and emotionally when listening to a particular album. So while last week was hard, I have to follow through with that. So I am going to go with this. The great finale is finally here. I'm going to go with W.A.S.P, The Crimson Idol.
Two for two.
So it's 2 for 2.
No
pressure, 2 for 2.
No pressure, Belle.
And then we got the public.
Andrew.
Wow.
Do this to me.
Because it makes good viewing, Belle. That's why I do it.
Can we add Belle's? Can we add Belle's vote to the public's vote?
I've got the public vote here.
And we add Belle's to it as well. That'll be interesting.
So we got 2 for W.A.S.P and 2 for Queensrÿche.
It's a tie. You are the tiebreaker out of us 5.
I'm just going to hold this here.
And you know what? I'm still.
All right, let's give Belle the floor. All right.
I'm still not sure.
That's why I wanted you to go last, because you've got to make a decision. So I knew you'd take the time to. Here we go. Conrad's got his t-shirt out. This is like for Dave and I who watch the wrestling. This is like when everyone's trying to convince Sting to join which version of the NWO. Like that's what that feels like with Belle. So sorry, Belle, but Belle, hang on, everyone. Belle, the floor is yours. You decide.
Oh man, you got to queue up for whom the bell tolls, man. This is perfect.
Next time.
Wow. Can I just put it out there? Yep. Just because I'm having the last vote, it doesn't mean that whichever way I go is on me. It's on the
No.
other two people
Hang
as
on.
well.
We're gonna
Yeah,
hand that to the public.
Yes, it does.
We'll hand that to the public.
Okay.
Whatever album you don't pick ceases to exist.
Fuck's sake. All right, that's enough. Everyone, it's time for Bell.
Oh shit! All right, so
You got this.
I was always going to make this short and sweet, and I still will. But now it just has a whole lot more weight. Fucking hell! All right, I don't have too much to add to what's already been said about both these albums. Please go ahead, Conrad.
No,
Let's drag this out.
No, the public have. Andrew has the results of what the public have put through, and they've only won it on one vote. They've only won it on one vote. So you're
Come on, man. We've done 9 weeks of this shit. This is the deciding factor. 9 weeks has all come down to Bell's decision.
No,
your decision.
that is ridiculous. Given I'm a kind of a,
It'll come down to your decision with added to the public.
Happening.
We have the public vote, Bell. We will cover both sides of this coin comfortably. Don't worry. But I just want to make sure we get you heard. Okay, so it's over to you.
Yep, Bill.
I'll shut up.
You go for the album that means the most to you.
That's it. There's no right or wrong. It's just what you feel is the right choice for you.
I'm not going to talk for the next 10 minutes.
Oh yeah. I don't know if this is going to go.
Can you cut that soundbite, Andrew? That's something we've never heard before.
I'm gonna put that in the shrine. But Bell, over to you.
Yeah. I'll turn my mic off.
This is a lot of pressure, but I'm just gonna say what I have to say and pick what I want to pick. And as I said before, I'm not going to feel like it's all on me. It's going to be all on either those two,
the public.
Well, those two. This is how I'm seeing on my screen.
That's fine.
Anyway. Okay, so there's already been a lot of analysis of the music, stories, the general concept, or whatever the album represents from all of us. There's been a lot of comparisons between these two albums and whatever albums they've been pitted up against. We've gone into the, in depth into each story. We've seen its good side and we've seen its bad side. Thank you, Dave, for pointing out all the plot holes in Mindcrime, which none of us have ever seen and can never unsee. Now, I'm going off script, but I don't think that's going to matter to Queensrÿche and Mindcrime fans. I really don't. I think anyone who loves Mindcrime will pretty much disregard everything you have said about it and still love for what it is. Or that's just me, but that's how I feel about it. Good points, whatever. Any movie critic, I know it's not a movie, but it's an album. Any movie critic can be disregarded. So
hey, to be fair, Bell, I'd say we all should be disregarded anyway, so go for it. How about it? Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Anyway, so I voted for both and against these albums. The Mindcrime vote for is a little iffy because that was that random appearance that I jumped in on, and it was not very. It counted according to you, Andrew, but in my opinion, it didn't really count. Although I would have voted for it. So for and against. I still love both of them. I really do. I would happily put on either album, whatever kind of mood I'm in, and enjoy it and listen to it and take it all in, story, music, the whole thing, and thoroughly enjoy it. So how do I decide? These battles have really gotten me to think about not just whether I like or love an album, but how I feel about an album, or more accurately, how an album makes me feel. So at this point in the proceedings, I think, is that what I should base my decision on? How do I decide? How do I go? How do I pick? Because I've, some decisions that I've made up until now, I've, have been ruled by my heart over my head. So am I going to go that way? We'll see. So I think Mindcrime is just a better album in terms of musicality. Definitely. Absolutely. I'm not, I'm not trying to take away from the Crimson Idol. I think it's ridiculously good musically, but I think Mindcrime has more to offer in terms of its music.
This is not a subtractive exercise, if that makes sense.
No, that's a good way of putting it. It's not. So I just think I enjoy the music more in Mindcrime than what I do in the Crimson Idol. But the Crimson Idol brings out this raw emotional response in me that I don't get from Mindcrime.
Yep.
I enjoy Mindcrime. It makes me happy. I get into it. I love it. But I don't cry when I'm listening to it. But I do when I'm listening to the Crimson Idol. I literally do. So, how do I choose? I mean, the Idol's definitely a go with your heart choice. And I know that I've been going with my heart with, so all of these albums so far, all of these battles, I've been choosing with my heart. But I'm going with my head tonight. I'm choosing Mindcrime.
There we go. Well done. Well done.
Wow.
Well done.
I can't choose against it. It's a long-term favorite. I think it's just a better album.
Thank you.
I get what Dave's saying. I get it. I do. But I just think it's the better album.
I was shocked at Andrew's choice. I thought Andrew would have gone with Mindcrime too on this one. But yeah.
I had to go with my heart.
Yeah.
I had to.
Look at the disappointment in those eyes. You have kiss and then disappointed eyes.
Dave, you weren't alone, okay? I picked with you, but that's the joy of all this. We all find our own ways to get there. There's no right or wrong answer to these things. And just for the record, on the audience polling side of things, we ended up as a panel agreeing with the audience. The audience was split by one vote, but they went with Mindcrime as well. But that shows you how tight this is.
Yes.
That shows you. But to be fair to both albums, that does show you how incredibly tight all
there
this
are no
is.
Losers here. Both these albums deserve to win.
Yeah. If you put on either of these albums, you're not going to go fucking turn it off. No one's going to say that.
No.
They're both fantastic albums, but we do this as an exercise to force ourselves to listen to things differently, to take it in a bit differently, and to go, okay, we have to, this is not how you normally listen to an album.
No.
You don't sit there with the exercise being, listen to this, pick one. That's not how you normally do it. You listen to music for the joy of it. We're doing this as an exercise in futility at the end of the day, but it's a fun thing to do for us because we enjoy this stupidity. But
you know what? Fuck it. I lasted 8 minutes. I was watching the clock. I lasted 8 minutes without saying a goddamn thing. With the exception of music, the other passion that I have is film and story. So I can't just review these like a normal person. I have to put that into it. So
that's
this is
fair. Dave does.
No one's ever going to view you as a normal person, Dave.
I'm fucking happy with that, man. I don't want to be who wants to be a fucking lemming? I am certainly not normal. The more abnormal I am, the better. And I am cool with that.
No, that was beautiful, Conrad. Do not take that back. That was wonderful.
Do not. That is cool. I will fucking live by that. That is worth to live by. But as somebody who's what was an aspiring filmmaker who went through film school and writing school and script writing and all that shit, I know all about plot development and character development. So I can't just review these albums as a normal album. So that's why I went so in depth in the last few weeks about all these albums because plus a lot of these albums and a lot of these albums are really, really personally important. Yeah. So it's like all three things coming together.
Yeah.
So
Learning this
this is-
about you now has made me real. Now I learned this about you. Now I understand why you look at things in an analytical way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've
plus a lot of these albums, and all at once, it's been fucking really hard because a lot of these albums mean a lot. And I've never put these
Thank
albums
you,
up against.
Conrad.
into-
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot here to take
like,
in.
dude, this has been awesome. Do not feel bad about this because
No.
this whole process has been
It has
fantastic.
actually been
It's
a lot
been
of fun.
It's been fun. It's been an adventure, and I discovered some albums. I've
Yeah.
discovered some albums that I
Yeah,
hadn't
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Me
rad.
too.
Well, for
Yeah.
example,
Been
for
great.
me, finding Nightwish on this process was like I
Yeah.
said when we did that one. I was like, if I'd have found this album first, it would change my entire perspective of the band. Like
Hey,
that's how big of an album.
Andrew,
it was for me.
do you know there's only
And
3
welcome to
Nightwish
my
albums we
podcast.
haven't reviewed?
Really?
Yeah. Their debut, Once, which is fucking brilliant, and Dark Passion Play. We've done everything else now.
Oh,
Wow.
Fuck me.
Those are brilliant
Okay.
albums.
yes.
Yeah.
I
But
wasn't
dude, seriously,
familiar with-
listen to Once. If you like
Okay.
Nightwish now after Imaginarium, listen to Once.
Oh,
It's
Once
their
is a
fucking Black album.
brilliant
Album
piece
tomorrow.
of
Their Black album, man.
Once is
I'm familiar with
probably
Once.
ultimately it may very well be their best, really.
Okay.
Overall.
Yeah,
I mean, look, you
one
got
for
the
Dark
concept
Passion
album, you
Play.
got all that stuff. You got
Okay.
Dark Passion Play, which is a concept album in itself.
Yeah.
But
Brilliant.
loosely. But
Yeah.
Once is just songs, but holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But it's their Black album, man. There's no other way to
Get it on my
describe it.
list. My fucking never-ending.
Yeah.
Getting back
list.
to
Oh.
just
Pin
this
it somewhere to
concept
that.
thing. I mean, I hadn't discovered
Yeah.
Welcome to My Nightmare. I'd never
Yeah.
really, and I loved it. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is brilliant.
I don't think any of us will walk away from this process going, that sucked. Like we all found a lot in this. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it was, but the thing is that half of the fun is the challenge for me anyway. And I hope
And
that others,
it was what the public voted for. It wasn't what
Yeah.
I wanted. It's what
that's
the
it.
public,
And that there's got to be an
the public
element of,
chose these. I didn't
Yeah.
choose all of these.
well, at the end
Yeah.
of the day, we chose the top 10 from the audience. And that's what,
Yeah.
you know, all
Yeah.
of these albums, all of them from beginning to end have a special place to everyone that picked them. And we went through and did an arbitrary thing for the fun of it because it's an exercise
Yeah.
for the sake of
Mm.
it. Doesn't take away anything that these albums mean to anyone else out there, or it
Yeah.
shouldn't be taken that way.
Yeah,
It's just
I've
something.
seen comments in the last few weeks of
War of
people
the
that haven't
Worlds.
heard the Crimson Idol, and they're like, "I
Yeah.
love this album," or they haven't heard The Wall before, or they haven't heard Scenes
Yeah.
from Memory.
Yeah.
So it's introduced people to albums that they wouldn't have heard
That's it.
before.
And
That's
that's-
that's the point of the process.
Yeah.
Oh,
So check out War of the Worlds, people.
Yes, I agree.
And get
completely.
your
Conrad.
bell
It is
bottoms and your disco moves on for War of the Worlds because that's the shit right there. And your psychedelic fucking aliens are like cruising like Shaft and their fucking space mobiles. That's the
all right.
shit right there.
We're moving on into the evening.
should
Let's
have
wrap
said
this
that.
up. I'm going to go to some comments now because we've all had our
Please.
bit. I'm going to go to the comments and then we'll get
Go to
to
the comments.
in and get out of here. All right. So, Bash, we answer your question. So, Michael said Bell drunk, fell off the chair, took out laptop, upstage Dave the other week. So, Bell ran off.
Possible.
Oh man, bar's
did I
been
fall
risen.
off my chair? I don't remember doing that, but
I don't think you
maybe
fell,
I
but you
did.
ducked off very quickly. You ran.
Yeah.
Here we go. So Rowan says, did you say that Dave's and Jeff's comments were so long they chewed through the entire laptop battery?
Yes.
Why do you think I have mine connected to mains power? I'm doing this thing.
Yeah,
I've run out
mine
of power
too.
before. I have mine.
I'm
connected to
sorry if
mains
I
power.
bore people. I know I'm
Yeah.
not a fucking boy.
No,
I haven't made a
Uh,
review that long in
that's
ages.
right.
It was I had to because it was the finals.
no. And
well,
this
Yeah.
is it's a motive process.
Right.
You do what you need to do.
Yeah.
It's all good.
it was over
No, no, no.
4,250 words.
Fucking nuts.
A lot
Anyway.
of fucking
Yeah, mine was about 2,000. Fuck.
Vinny said Bell just transcended into cyberspace and returned with the t-shirt. So there we go. Sally says Crimson Idol for me. Bash says all this arguing is not in the spirit of this contest. Well, there we go.
I'm sorry,
Rowan
man.
says, yes, there are plenty of potholes in Tarantino films.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would argue, yeah, there are.
Yeah.
What is
Maybe,
it?
maybe not.
Yeah, the vampires one. That one just took a left
Oh,
turn out of fucking
Fucking
nowhere.
from
Bordello
Dust to
Blood.
Dawn. Yeah,
Yeah,
from
Just
Dust to
Dunk.
Dawn, but you got Selma Hayek with a fucking snake. So
I
who
get
gives a
that,
shit?
but plot holes. All right. Anyway,
Yeah,
Vinny
like a
says
plot
not all.
hole.
Well, my bin for the week. Our 5-year-old cat ran away early in the week, and the thought that stays with me is if I had known I may never see him again, I would have held him a little longer
Oh.
than I before. Hug your pets tighter tonight. Wow.
oh,
Oh, dude.
Sorry,
Oh.
Vinny. that sucks.
Sorry to hear that, dude.
I don't know what else to say about that.
I really hope the cat
So do
comes
I.
back.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so.
Because you've moved house too. That's a shame. Like, yeah, I hope that works out for you better. That's a real shame. All of us love our pets.
Yeah.
Like that's heartbreaking. So hopefully you get a better result. Hopefully next stream we're hearing better stories from you. Michael said these concept albums do it in different ways, different perspectives, but they explore the human condition. That's a very, very good point there, Michael. Thank you for that. Rowan with the drum roll. Nicole says Mindcrime. Andrew said Mindcrime. Rowan said the impossible, terrible, fabulous decision. There we go. Oh, with the clap from Rowan. Well done, mate. Okay, quick question for the panel and viewers. Favorite concept album? That's a tough one to answer on the spot. I don't know.
Yeah. I suggested we do a top 10 out of these 10, and even that would be fucking painful.
Let's put a pin in it. I want to do it, but I think we should put a pin in it. I don't think this is the right
missed that. Sorry.
What is your all-time favorite concept album?
I can answer that.
Okay.
Mindcrime.
Mindcrime. Yeah.
It's out of these two.
I thought I lost my CD, but I found it in my car. So
there you go.
I'm okay.
Good place to have it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know, man, but the fucking wall, the Crimson Idol, Welcome to My Nightmare.
I would go with.
So
I could go a three-way tie to do something different. I could go between the Wall, Idol, and honestly, War of the Worlds. The amount of times I've listened to that album, it's fucking insane. Like I've listened to that ad nauseum.
I'll go up there with War of the Worlds being my top 3. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. I've obviously chosen in this context Idol over the Wall. So okay, fine. But
I would have struggled had Mindcrime gone up against War of the Worlds.
That's a tough one. So that's where I rate War of the Worlds that highly. Just I love.
So do I.
I love it. So
absolutely.
For me,
absolutely,
that's probably the one I've had the longest affinity for.
I've actually played that in rock clubs as well, and
it would go off. Everyone knows it.
They've gone off to it. They love it. Yeah.
So there you go, Rowan. Hopefully that answers your question. But for everyone out there, we'll pin that as a question. Dave, you or I will film a video for that one and go, okay, what is your favorite concept album of all time, just for the sake of it, which is your one and one only. Michael said Magic Days face bell. I hope you're turning any of the albums off in Conrad's nightmare. So there we go. Rowan says
I muted myself for a good 8 minutes. The mute was off.
I'm impressed, actually. I'm impressed.
Freaking me out.
Lots of great discoveries in this process. We should do this with the top 11 to 20 concept albums of some time.
Yeah.
Not today, okay? Not anytime soon.
I'm emotionally drained.
Are you insane?
Give us 3 months.
Yeah.
Give us 3 months.
Yeah, give us a bit. We need to take a break.
3 months.
But that was because it takes 2 and a bit months to get through these ones. So it's
This is better.
We need 3 months rest on this one.
Yeah, I know. We need to give concept albums a break for a while. Let's go back to just simple albums again. Rowan Basher said we're all enriched, and that's the point. We are all enriched out of these processes. Rowan said mine is Beyond Twilight's The Devil's Hall of Fame. Okay, cool. Goalie says Alice Cooper, so there we go. And Michael says War of the Worlds. I think started my respect for concept albums. I love the genre, which is cool. Rowan's gone. I'm ready to start next week, so there we go. Basher says, could you please list the rankings? Okay, when it came to the audience choice top 10, I can do that quickly. That's all I can do, honestly. So coming in number 10 was Sabotage, Streets, a Rock Opera. Number 9 from the audience was Nightwish, Imaginarium. Number 8 was The Who with Tommy. Number 7 was Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Number 6 was Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Wow. Number 5 was Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. Number 4, Dream Theater, Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from Memory. Number 3, W.A.S.P, The Crimson Idol. Number 2, Pink Floyd, The Wall. Number 1, Queensrÿche, Operation Mindcrime. So between the audience and all that sort of stuff, it came out a long way. Now, when we polled the audience, we asked the audience for their top 3, and Mindcrime won by a fair bit. But the bracketing after that is really tight from, 2 through 10. Like, it's really, really tight. There's not a lot there to break them all up. So that's what the audience voted for at the end of the day, kind of thing, in the top 10, if that is what you're asking for there, Basher. But next week,
I'd like to thank the audience for the last 2.5 months for your choices.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and to be
Pretty
honest,
fun.
like, there's
Oh,
albums in this I haven't
Thank
listened to
you.
before, which is great. Like that's
Yeah.
the point.
I didn't
Isn't
know
that
these.
one?
Yeah, some of these beforehand. So thank you for the audience. Got me to listen to some stuff I'd not heard before.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
And
what it's
The
all about.
wall. Yep. The wall seems so fucking dream theater. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way out of
That's
your
all
comfort
I'd
zone,
do
isn't it,
for
Belle?
that.
Dream theater. Yeah.
I'm still in shock that I'm enjoying that.
Wow. But that's the cool thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
The wall, though.
yeah.
Oh,
I know.
far out.
It broke my heart last week. It broke my heart last week.
Yeah.
I was shocked actually. I thought you would have gone with the wall actually.
Yeah, I was shocked as well.
Had it come down to Mindcrime or the wall, man, that would have been tough.
I know which way I would have
Yeah.
gone on that one too. I would have probably gone with the wall.
That was
Yeah,
I was
I
so
might have
close
done
to going
myself.
with the wall.
It wasn't much in it. It's literally that one brought me to tears more than the other one, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I mentioned that in my review. It does that to me as well.
yeah.
You know, it does. It's a
Oh.
sad tale.
When that 1, 2, 3 punch at the end of the album for Crimson Idol for me is what ultimately
Yeah.
and because I think for me, because I listen to on average about 400 albums a year.
Yeah.
One that makes me do that on repeat is pretty special. So it's hard to
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
That's
think
a good point.
for me it was like when you look at the Crimson Idol and what it's actually trying, what it's about, the core of what's happened to this guy, you know, is a familiar thing. Everyone, like I said, everyone has wanted to be a rock star, but I don't think that how it happened to him could ever happen again. Whereas at one time, it was a cautionary tale. It was sage advice.
I get what you're saying, but my approach to it was that I came at my connection to the album comes from, again, it says more about me, and that is the personal connection that you make to a character, and that how you grow up can influence where you go and how things can turn out for you. And so I was scarily easily relatable to that character than others in this process. And so that's where I think for me, that's why that album can bring me to tears time after time after time versus all the other ones where I'm able to be more, not that I don't captivate me, they do, but I'm able to be more dispassionate versus one that speaks to me on a internal level. There's differences in mindset, and that's just what it triggers in me when I listen to it. So
well, that's the tool that I had to use to be able to draw the line between the two, because musically they're both brilliant. You know, lyrically they're both brilliant. It was like, well, why am I choosing this story over this story? Yeah. And it was like, okay, for me, I thought that the Crimson Idol, okay, it's 90s, it's talking about 80s, 70s, all that stuff, the way things used to be. Not anymore. Technology has changed all of that. Whereas Operation Mindcrime, the concepts from '88 are still relevant today, and we're still seeing shit like this pay out.
I said last time around that it's a very relevant cautionary tale today when it came to Mindcrime. I just think that I'm not trying to convince you. I'm trying to make my point clear.
No.
But that the where I find the Crimson, I understand what you're saying about the relevance in terms of the music industry. But what I find
that's right.
But the core elements that led to those choices,
absolutely, and what happens to him in that story, I can look at it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the timeless part for me.
Powerful. Yeah.
That's the part. That's the timeless part. Like you can be that aspect is timeless. Like what the career choice you make afterward, that's different. But the impact of that childhood on a person's further development.
Yes.
Yeah. And when it comes down to the Idol, when he lists off the 8,000 hours, whatever it is, like you find it turns out he's 21 when he dies, kind of thing. So it's all really that whole thing there.
Really?
The point I made about the Crimson Idol last time we did it was that it didn't matter if you're the rock star. It transcribes to anybody who has that goal that once you reach that goal, it's going to make your life better. Not necessarily a story about a rock star. It's that whole be careful what you wish for. But it's also that you can't fulfill you can't make your life better unless you face your own demons. And that's the main core of that story. It could be that whatever goal you have in your life, when you get it, you're still going to be empty unless you fix yourself.
Yeah,
that's the main.
I think both of these stories are relevant and cautionary because they show you that you can't fulfill yourself with external mechanisms. You have to look within to find.
Yeah,
correct.
It's a difficult internal conversation you have to have with yourself, but nothing will be validated unless you do that. Because the only person that can fix you is you.
Yeah. Here we are, 12:30 at night. 9 weeks into a fucking process, going Freudian on this shit.
But it's weird because the really deep personal albums we went through earlier, the last two were more on musical and story and narrative, but the ones that were deeply personal to me, we passed them earlier. So it's been a really fascinating 9 weeks.
Yeah.
And Conrad, don't beat yourself up because I said it before, man, dude, this has been a fantastic process.
Well, thank you. As I said, thank the public for their choices.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's a great idea you had, and yes, we went through the ringer to get there, but it's a great outcome at the end of the day. And I think that I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed. I'll put it that way. I think that everyone's going to be pretty thrilled. I think this is a good one.
I'm disappointed. Fuck.
Yeah, Dave, we know that. But
it was always going to be Mindcrime, I think.
And that's why I'm disappointed.
It's a very strong album. It really is.
It was always going to be
Operation Plot Hole.
Yeah,
I tried to fill those for you, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
It made it worse.
There is a reason why it speaks to so many people at the same time.
Because everyone's stupid for me.
Okay, Dave. I am so smart. SMRT. Okay, Dave. Anyway.
I understand Belle's deciding the next theme.
She has. And so the next theme is Nordic bands.
Drum roll.
So I put up a post earlier today. Yeah, Nordic. So I put up a post earlier today. Just for so I don't know if comments
Nordic as in Norwegian.
BAD's getting a lot of love.
They are getting a lot of love actually.
Nordic as in Norwegian or
hold
Scandinavian?
On. So
there's a list.
I've asked for the top. I've asked from the audience for their top 3 albums from bands out of Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, also Faroe Islands, Greenland, Åland, and Svalbard. So that's the whole Nordic definition, or the definition of Nordic part of the world.
Okay. So Ireland.
No,
I didn't think.
Can I nominate an album? Can I nominate?
I thought you said.
Am I allowed to pick some?
No.
In the comments, Dave. In the comments.
Okay, I will. I'll do that.
I know you will. Do it in the comments.
Does that mean I can?
If you want.
And the band has to be based from there. They have to be
from those. From those countries or those.
They can't have just a singer from there and the rest of the band
needs to be
like Camelot.
So is it best album? Best album.
No, Camelot are American, man.
I've asked
I know, but their singers
to choose 3 albums from bands out of those regions. That way I can get a cross section going to determine a top 10 from the audience. And the audience choice top 10 will go into the pool. We'll do the whole thing again for another 9 weeks as it goes through. That's how it works. That's the process I go through for how I do this one. Like Dave said, DAD is getting a lot of love. They are front runner, nice and early.
I'm cool with that because everyone knows Sleeping My Day Away, but fuck, they got some good stuff.
They got some great stuff beyond that.
That was a great show earlier this year. That was
you did go. Yeah,
that was unreal.
That dude's solo album from a few years ago was cool too.
Yes, Vince is great. Yeah, he's a great solo artist as well.
Yeah.
Great band.
I'm going to quickly get some comments. We'll do a bin and get out of here. Michael said, I put most of my critical listening into Sabotage and W.A.S.P as I had not listened to them as much as the others, which was the value of this exercise, which I appreciate sharing that with us. Mindcrime references politics, sex, drugs, religion, and has stated the numbers look the same on their credit cards. All of that and power equals financial gain throughout the ages. That's a very good point there too. Very interesting analysis. Rowan says, no dick. Female bands? I didn't know dick. What? Oh, gotcha. Okay, it's fine. Okay, cool.
Sister Mary will love that shit.
No. Anyway, Jolie says the 69 Eyes, Lost Boys sounds like Charlie.
Yes.
Sexton.
Fucking yes.
Nicole says, oh, albums. I chose band. That's why you got to watch the video, not just read the text. The text is like, I've got.
Look at me! Look at me!
Oh, anyway, you gotta watch this.
Watch my
Dave already
video.
nominated Nightwish once. Anyway, but the point is and I will go through. I will go through to the comments that people have said bands. I'll go, okay, what album do you want from those bands? Because I want to get the album breakdown. Even Dave got multiple albums in the running. So when it comes to a band that has more than one album nominated, whichever one has the most popular, they'll get that one and one only. We don't have the same thing we've done in the past where we've had 2 albums from the same artist go through.
You only have one, yeah.
Only have one.
It can only be one.
Highlander.
Nicole says, I did watch it.
One.
Okay, I don't know what you watched, Nicole. Sorry, I thought it was, I said it 3 times. I'm sorry.
It's like a different interpretation, right? Like Dave has a different interpretation from Mindcrime, and we all listen to it.
And Mike's right. It makes logical sense.
Yeah.
Stop. Nicole says in one ear and out the other, obviously. Sorry, Andrew, it's all good.
Oh, man, I could have fun with that.
A Nordic pun. Okay, I apologize.
Nordic.
Nuance is kind of lost when I'm dealing with 4 people in a room and reading a bunch of notes at the same time. I don't quite got my usual speed. Dave knows when I'm on my own in a room with people, I'm much sharper than trying to do 5 things at the same time.
It's a weird process, man. We're in our own separate spaces talking to ourselves.
I know.
People around us think we're weird.
Yeah, this is why I'm going to Queensland, because people won't fucking hear me where I'm going to, so it's all right. Like, I'll be able to do the lunatic howling at the moon, and no one's going to know I'm doing it, so it's going to be fine. That's going to be good. Michael says, "Yep, I assumed all satanic metal, but see, I will learn a lot from Bell's challenge. It is going to be interesting because there's a lot of diverse choices.
I'm
looking
there's so much.
more.
So much. It's going to be
so much.
Oh yeah,
it's just going to be an education.
And that's why, actually,
yeah,
hang on.
It covers Eclipse and fucking Heat as well, and all those type of bands.
When we would discuss this last week, that's why Bell chose this theory, isn't that right, Bell? Like,
that's exactly right, because it's such a broad. You know, you can go from, you can
Volbeat.
From black metal,
Volbeat,
and everything in between.
There's a band from Iceland called the Vintage Caravan. If no one's heard that band, they're fucking fantastic. So get on that shit. They're a really good band.
And Nicole's jumped in, half of Queensland will be howling with you. Well, we're all going to be nutters up there, so that's going to be okay. All right, let's do this. Let's get to a bin, and then we'll let everyone go. Fun and games. All right.
Concert to get to.
All right, no, Conrad, go first. What do you put in the bin?
Oh God, I haven't even had a chance to digest that yet. Go to someone else.
All right, Dave.
Dave. Okay. So I've been off work as a break for like a week, but I still bear the scars of my job. So every now and then things will seize up and pipes will get blocked and filters will clog and valves will not open. So every now and then you have to get a heat gun on this shit. And a heat gun will burn at like 140, 150 degrees. And when you got to melt wax out of these fucking pipes, usually it's fine. We've got like the thing underneath that everything will drip into. Occasionally it will drip on you. And you get a nasty, nasty fucking burn. But you just man up and like, I'm halfway through my fucking job. I'll deal with this shit later. So if a big blob of wax on you, you'll deal with that shit 20 minutes later, peel that wax off. Within about an hour, your skin starts to bobble, flake, and disappear.
Dave,
and
you know what?
Yeah. So about a week later, this shit starts to fucking itch.
Okay, but it's so cute to see you going through emo phase in your 40s.
Oh fuck! No. But to be completely fair, now you bring it up. This whole shit is pussy compared to like 5 years ago when I was in retail. Because when you cut open boxes and you like get cardboard cuts and everything, fucking arms used to be scarred with this shit.
Yeah, that's why I have box cutters. People like you.
I fucking safety knives. I fucking stabbed myself with a safety knife. Get the irony with that.
Dave, that says more about you than the safety knife. I guarantee it.
Because the fucking safety knife, I was trying to cut open the last bit of sticky tape on the box, and I went the other way. That's my fault, and it fucking went straight into my arm. Like straight in, and push my finger against. I'm like dripping on the floor in the middle of Big W. So I'm like, oh shit. So I walked up to the service desk and I'm dripping all the place. Like, hey, I need a Band-Aid. So they grabbed the first aid kit. There's no Band-Aid there. I'm like, fuck. So I drip all the way back to the back of the store, where like the office is. I get into another manager. I'm like, I probably need the first aid kit, not just the Band-Aid. So I grabbed the first aid kit, got upstairs, shoved the fucking alcohol swab into this massively deep sideways cut. Like pushed that in, like, and washed it out because I don't want to get infected. Put a Band-Aid and a bandage around. Fixed all that shit up, went back to work, went to Motley Crue and Alice Cooper that night, and it was all good. Rock and roll.
All right.
But yeah. Injuries at work, in the bin.
All right. Good. All right.
Man, that went off on a
Give you
tangent.
enough time to think of something.
God.
You can put Dave in the bin if you want. It's okay.
Oh, please do.
Oh, sorry, who's going?
I was going to throw to you, but I can throw to someone else.
All right, long
Dave
album
in the bin.
Long album reviews.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
All right.
Go to the bin.
All 4,000
Nicely
words.
done. Well played. Good, sir. All right, Jeff, over to you. What's the bin this week?
So I'm gonna stay political because I like that. If Mindcrime wasn't political enough, no. So there's a judge. Her name is Aileen Cannon, and she needs to recuse herself from a certain trial that's upcoming, and she's refusing to. The fact is, she will not be impartial because she was appointed by Trump. And she's already stuck her nose into it once, and she got slapped. And basically, the appeals court said, "Don't ever do that again. You risk losing your disbar you basically."
Yeah. Yep.
The problem with this one is, if she says the type of thing that's happening, I hate to get too political, but there's no appeal process at all,
Okay.
zero.
Yeah.
So she could literally say, "Trump, you're free to go," and there's not a thing anybody could do about it.
It says more about the system than ours, but anyway.
It does say a lot about the system, right? That's the problem. So basically, there's a push to get her to say, "Look, I have to recuse myself from this process because I'm not impartial."
Yeah.
And she was appointed by him, and so it'll come down to whether she actually does this. She should do it, but I don't think she's gonna. So that bitch can get in the bin.
Fair enough. Fair enough. There's a lot to watch in that space.
But I've been following it. I can't help it. I'm addicted. This is like the OJ trial for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm following it very, very closely.
Yep. All right. Let's go to Belle. What are you putting in the bin this week?
Wow. Nothing political.
Sorry.
Okay. So I've got two bins, but they're related.
Cool.
So driving on country roads at night. So I only live like half an hour, maybe 40 minutes from the CBD of Hobart. Yeah. But because Hobart's pretty small, like I live, in the country. And so at this time of year, if I'm working in the office, which I do a couple of days a week, by the time I'm driving home after work, it's dark, like it's pitch black. So with country driving at night brings people using high beams on the road. Yeah. And so my first bin is people who take too fucking long to turn off their high beams when you're heading towards them, and you get blinded and you can't see a thing, and you can't fucking see, and there's these high beams, and they're like, "Oh yeah, there's a car, I'll just turn off my high beams." It's so annoying. Like just if you've got your high beams on and it's 5:36 at night and there's plenty of cars around, be ready to turn your high beams off. Just be ready.
Yep, agree.
So, it drives me mental, and it happens every day.
I remember the days when it was like a thing on the floor.
Yes. That's right.
It was a button. It was a button. I remember
that, a silver metal button.
What kind of car was that?
What?
All the cars had that.
How fucking old are you guys, man? I don't remember this shit.
Yeah, well, it was there.
Dude, my first cars had fucking the park brake on the floor as well.
1970s. My first car was a Tirana, and I don't remember that being.
That was mine.
Yeah,
Cars in
I
the
bet it
70s.
was. I bet
Cars
it
in the
did.
70s had this big metal button on the floor
That's
that
right.
you pushed, and that was the high beam.
No, my handbrake was on the floor. I think that was the Toronto.
Yeah, that was the Toronto. Did you have a 74 or?
75, a 75 LX.
I had a 74 LH.
Oh, wow. And LH, was that like the LJ? Like the little kind of the the LH,
No,
the
sedan,
LJ
the
and the
sedan,
L.
the big fucker. Yep.
The LH, no. It was an LX anyway.
I
regret selling that now.
They look like a battery. They look like a
C battery or something.
Yeah, C battery. Yeah, C battery.
I know the ones.
I'm still driving my first car. That's how fucking old it is.
You're doing well, Dave. I'm on like my half dozens by now.
No, not the fucking muffler it held on with a fucking wire.
Yeah, well.
No,
it's not in good condition.
That's
anyway,
cool.
Yeah,
I got defected. I used to drive this Falcon around, and I got defected because there was a massive hole in the muffler, and it was so loud, and it was fucking great, and I loved it. But it wasn't cops, but it was those people that
environmental
basically, and I got like pulled over and had that big sticker put on the car. It was so sad because I loved how loud this Falcon was. Anyway, that was not that long ago actually. It's back in Canberra. What was I talking about? I was talking about my bin. All right.
Yeah, your second bin. I've aimed to this.
In the bin.
It was a big green Falcon. It was cool. That was before I got my little Mazda. Actually, I could go into another bin because I drive a big turbo diesel 4-wheel drive, and I might need to, and I love it. And it's got all this extra fruit on it, like, second battery and all this like towing shit.
Yes.
But anyway, I might need to downgrade to a Corolla or something because it's just costing me too much to run, which sucks because I love it. So there's like a third bin. But anyway, second bin is country driving. All these little animals. There's so many little critters that live down here. Like we have these things called catamelons, right? They're like mini kangaroos.
Yeah.
Like little wallabies, and they're fucking everywhere.
Suicidal fuckers.
They don't have like a suicide club. They jump out in front of you and shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit! They're coming from a vegetarian.
And I don't want to run them over because I really like animals.
It's called roadkill, Belle. This is dinner.
Road pizza,
it's
Dave.
roadkill.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can eat roadkill
if
it's fresh. You're not going to do that.
Hey, look at it this way. If we weren't meant to eat animals, they wouldn't be made out of food.
Oh, thank you, Samuel.
Wow.
I appreciate that comment.
I like that.
Sorry.
With the inside of the year. Oh my god.
It's horrible. I don't want to run them over. I don't want them jumping in front of my car, but they do.
But they do. They're sacrificing themselves for you to get a good meal.
They're not sacrificing themselves. They're just stupid. And they're doing it.
So eat them.
Right,
That's right. We don't eat smart animals. We eat the stupid ones.
The smart ones can run fast, right?
I don't want to run them over. It sucks. And then the next morning when I have to go back out to work or the freaking bus stop or whatever, there's like dead animals everywhere, and it's shit. And I hate it.
I did that last night.
Oh,
in what, suburbia? Where the fuck were you going, Dave?
and what animals? Like, what was it? Like a cat?
Dave was confusing fucking Grand Theft Auto for real life.
Yeah.
That's all right. You can run over hookers. I don't care about that. But I do care about animals.
Oh shit! There goes Sister Mary.
Oh wow. Okay.
So,
here we go.
Anyway, those are my 3 bins.
Right. I gotta follow that up. All right, I'm gonna keep this one light.
I've never driven over an animal or a person.
No, animals, yes. People, no, not yet.
No, I'm a good driver, man.
I can't say the same. It's gonna be fun for me in Queensland with a twin cab ute. All right, so I'm gonna have with bars all over. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. All right. So
we're eating dinner tonight. Here come the hot dogs.
Here comes the roots.
Actually, kangaroo meat is it's pretty lean. It's pretty good.
It's good for you.
Oh,
no, different taste.
I grew up watching Skippy. I can't eat a kangaroo. I'm a meat eater, but I can't eat a kangaroo.
Before I turned veg, I was eating kangaroo. It's pretty good.
Kangaroo's okay, man. Kangaroo's okay.
It's very stringy, no fucking fat meat. Yep.
It's very lean, high in protein.
No.
All right, my bin.
I
for
love
this week,
kangaroos. They're like my second favorite animal, next to penguins.
You enjoy Skippy. I'm going to get to my bin.
No, I can't eat Skippy.
All right,
I got
my bin for this
Skippy
week,
peanut butter.
I'm going to get to it. My bin for this week is going to be, there's this function, like, love or hate it. All my devices are Apple. Okay, I'm not trying to advocate one or the other, but because I use Apple devices, I have this thing called Apple Music on my phone. The annoying thing for me, and it's going in the bin, is that just because I push play on my headphones, if I haven't queued up Spotify to play, it reverts to Apple Music. Now, I get it, but I despise it because the only thing on that fucking Apple Music account that I've got, which is just from my iPhone account, is the fucking album U2 forced downloaded to everyone. Remember that thing being years ago? So if I don't set it up right, I get fucking U2 playing in my ears by default, and that shit can get right in the fucking bin for all time as far as I'm concerned. It can fuck right off. I don't know how to change it. I want to change it.
One word for you.
Shortcut, fuck that shit for a joke. The idea of I push play thinking I get my Spotify playlist is all set up with things like Mindcrime or W.A.S.P or whatever else have you, and I get YouTube, fuck off.
Here's how you
one
change
word
it.
solves it, Andrew.
Get
One
rid of
word.
Apple. Get an Android phone.
Android.
Yeah. Fuck Apple.
Everything connects.
Fuck Apple, and they
fuck Apple.
Fuck Apple. David, I agree. High five.
Fuck yeah.
I do video and audio.
Yeah.
I don't care about processing power.
I agree.
Apple is the Donald Trump of mobile phones.
Apple is the devil.
Yeah, it is.
Very
And you know what? To be fair, give Bono some sympathy. He thinks he's the best thing to come out of Ireland, but we all know Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy.
I didn't know where you were going to go just then, Dave. That's how late we are. I had no idea where you were going just then.
Yeah, well, fucking Bono's just pissed that there's no statue of him and there's a statue of Phil Lynott. He's the best guy that came out of fucking Ireland.
Wow.
All right. Anyway, let's get some comments. Let's go. Rowan says, wax on, wax off. Dave really does like Karate Kid.
Copper Pie's better, but oh man.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, dude, we got to review. Well, let's do something different and review Copper Kai because holy shit.
Later. Let me catch up.
Oh man, I'm like itchy. I'm itchy all over.
I've got to move to the north of the fucking country. Okay, give me a month.
1, 2, 3.
Belle's fucking awesome.
Okay, yes, we agree.
Sorry.
There we go.
Yes.
All right. Nicole
I didn't even know I
agrees
had
with
it.
Jeff. I'm going to keep going. OJ is guilty.
Also, Jay's guilty.
Nice. Mine was yellow. The LH was yellow. Michael said first car here was 1100 Morris Mini. Lowered, of course. Dodgy roadworthy, of course. Perfect.
Was it well?
Trips. Wait for the right car. Yes, they do, the bastards. Nicole says two is good eating if it's cooked right. Freaking rude. Like, what?
Rude, not two.
There we go.
No, you can't
More than one roux is roux too.
No,
I know we're going.
that's enough to force you to be a vegetarian. Fuck.
Dave, I'm going to turn you into a fucking alcoholic of something. I don't know. Sally says, thanks, guys. Michael says, in the bin, Melbourne has no metal rock shop with Dave and Conrad on the floor. Dave, the angry retail assistant. Conrad, the nice, friendly assistant with Jeff, the manager in the office.
I've been manager all my life.
All those years in retail, I never considered myself to be the angry person on the floor. Damn.
You don't watch yourself on the streams,
Funnily
Dave.
enough, I used to run a shop.
Conrad. Yeah.
Do I really come across as angry? Fuck, I got to change my whole persona.
You're the unapproachable employee that if I can't find something and I see an employee there, I'm like, They look angry. I'm not even going to ask them. I'll try and find it myself, whatever I'm looking for. That's you.
Oh.
Okay, Bill.
I did 18 years in retail. I always thought I was approachable. Like the old ladies would always come up to me, and people used to have jokes saying that I would clear cobwebs for money because the old ladies seem to like me. But I don't know. Either I need to drink more or drink less. I'm coming across really disturbed on these streams.
All right.
But
Bill's
you know
just died of shock on the inside there. Wow. Nicole said, Dave, Skippy's dead already, dude. So, yeah, there you go. Skippy's already dead.
No. Okay, because there's photos of me when I was a little kid, like feeding a kangaroo, and I got the smile on my face. And then there's pictures of Jade, and she's feeding a kangaroo up in Ballarat at the wildlife park there. And it's so similar how the two of us are, because we both love kangaroos. And it's just like, holy shit, I can see myself, and Jay can see it too in me when I was young, and they're both two of our favorite animals.
Oh, that's so cool.
No, I'm not in a kangaroo. It's like, no.
Oh, wow.
And there's a wombat there that died.
Oh fuck wombats. You can eat them.
Your cars. They fuck your car up.
Wombats fuck the wombat. Fuck them and eat them.
Little tanks, yeah.
Nicole says, how long do you think they live for? Not kangaroos, not that long. Michael says, passion may be better, Dave, but I want a shopping experience, not the usual you guys could deliver. So, yeah, we'd be a different experience.
Do you want a passionate shopping
Bill's
experience?
appraisal of Dave is maybe curious what she'd rank the rest of us as, but all right.
Do you usually get passion when you go to Big W and just like, I'd like to try on this garment? Give me some passion.
Yeah, that's you in the makeup department, Dave. All right.
I never did makeup, and Big W did just about everything else, but not that.
Here we go. Rowan says, would Dave still like the kangaroos if he heard they voted for Mindcrime?
Oh no, fuck them, eat them. Anyone who eat it for fuck that.
All right, let's get out of here. It's getting stupid o'clock. Let's go. Conrad's got to go and see Kiss later on. He's got to shower and clean up.
Enjoy that.
Here, so.
Dude.
Enjoy it, Conrad. Hopefully have a fantastic night coming up.
Conrad,
and sorry to have held you up. This has been a blast. We'll see you all again on Thursday night next week, where we kick off the new series, which will be around Nordic bands. That's coming up next week. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all the usual things. Check out the links in our description box to do that. Find us on your preferred platform and do the usual things. Same thing for our fantastic sponsors. Big thank you to Squid Ink Screenprinting, Alt-Cvlt Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in that box. Check us out on TV every Thursday night on Channel 44 in Adelaide, every Saturday night in Melbourne on Channel 31, both at 10:30 p.m. on the respective nights. And I think that's about the usual. We're back again, same time, place next week. Sorry, not same time, place. We're back again Thursday, back to our regular time slot next week. And then for our Patreon supporters, we'll see you on Sunday with a special private stream for you guys over there as well. But that's it for now. Nicole says, okay, it's late and laughing too much. Yeah, we're having a good night here. Nicole says, thanks all. Also, have fun, Conrad. Jealous, not jealous. So there we go. Some love there. Jolie says, bye, everyone. Had a ball. Have fun, Conrad. So there we go. We're getting some love. Thank you all for sticking with us. It's been a longer one, as is usual for us. But thank you for staying with us until the wee hours of the morning. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Make sure you look after yourselves. Until then, though, I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
I'm Thor.
I'm Jeff. And yeah, we won.
Woo, I'm Belle.
As always, folks, you know what to do.
Drink up.
Rock on.
Rock on.
And vote for the wrong album. Fucking
No way.
Every single time,
Hands
Dave.
down.
See you next week.
wrong.
Bye.
Be.